All right, everybody, what's going on today? Hey, welcome back to the channel. Know we're a little bit late on tonight. We're gonna go over the survivor picks from last week. We're gonna go over the survivor picks for this week, and then we're also gonna go over our rankings for quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, tight ends, and defensive special teams for fantasy football week 5 coming up. And then we're also gonna dive into some news, and we'll probably do a Underdog resurrection draft for week 6 and beyond tonight as well. So a lot of stuff we're going to get into tonight, and those are going to be kind of our checklist of things to go off of for today. Tomorrow I'm going to try to do another stream tomorrow, Saturday. Today's technically Saturday, but later today we'll do a stream for going over the rankings. I'm going to update my not really rankings, my stats for advanced stats for running backs and receivers. We'll go over that. We might do another draft as well, and then just answering any final questions anybody has. We're also going to go over the Chicago Bears Washington Commanders game as well. So let's jump right into it. So last week, week 4 survivor. Let me turn the music down. All right, so last week, week 4 survivor, we hit 9 of 10. The only game we missed was the Thursday night game that I really didn't even get out to you guys in time. So the Packers was the only one that we missed. We hit Seattle Monday night to go 9-1 last week. And then, so, you know, pretty solid week. Pretty solid week. This week we have, this is our top 10 here. We got Miami at number 1. Miami's pretty much owned. Like a majority of people own Miami for the most part. You know, they have a pretty good matchup here against the Giants, the struggling New York Giants. So it's a solid matchup. Obviously, this is probably the safest pick. I haven't done my video on this yet, going over my top 3 and then over the top 10 as well. But we'll probably do that later today. I just need to do the recording and stuff. I have everything made for it, but the Dolphins are going to be your safest pick this week. A lot of people that aren't in a large contest, I have a contest where there was 13 of us. There's only 2 people remaining. I'm not one of them either. But like the 2 people that are remaining, my guess is they're taking Miami this week. Neither guy has taken Miami yet, so Miami would be one of those teams that really a lot of the, you know, if you're really just trying to hang on for dear life because you're battling out one person or a couple of people, Miami is more than likely going to be the pick. It looks like Miami is owned. The Commanders were owned 6% the other night, and they're gone now. So, but Miami's owned 27%. 34% are the Lions, who I have as my number 2 team. I don't know if I necessarily think that they should be in the 30 percentile. This could be a rough game for the Lions now that we know Amon-Ra St. Brown is not going to play. So this is one of those, like, it almost feels like a trap game, to be honest. The Panthers are winless right now. The Lions missing St. Brown at home. You know, it almost just seems like it's too good to be true, you know. I wouldn't say don't pick the Lions, but I think I would take the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins are safer, especially considering that St. Brown's not playing. We found that out today. And I feel like even the Titans would be a little bit safer as well. How many people have the Titans? The Titans are 1%. They're on the road in Indianapolis, so really I like Vegas. I almost like Vegas, Atlanta. I like rolling the dice with the Jets, maybe even a little bit more than the Lions. The Lions 34% is a little bit, you know what I mean? You get a team that's owned a lot in these survivor leagues, and this could be the week they go out. You got a desperate Carolina team on the road that need a win. And you know what I mean? It just, I don't know. I liked them a lot before I found out St. Brown was not going to play. So Titans are number 3 though, on the road here in Indy. This is one of those games, if you pick the Titans, you just don't watch. The Titans and the Colts always play usually a pretty close game for the most part. Richardson's playing really good. Indy's at home here, so home field advantage. Tennessee though looked like they were starting to get starting to get things worked out last week, and the defense is playing phenomenal right now. Atlanta, number 4. This is a bounce back spot for them at home here against the Texans. A lot of people are taking the Texans, or probably taking the Texans plus the points. I forget what that spread is down to now. Let me double check to see what the spread is down to now. I know it was like 3 early, and then now it's down below 3. It's 1.5. Yeah, give me the Falcons here. I really think the Falcons are a safer play than, say, like maybe even the Titans and the Lions now. I definitely think they're a little bit safer than the Lions, considering how many people are on the Lions. We got the Raiders Monday night at home against the Packers. I know the Packers are coming off the long week, and the Raiders are getting Jimmy G. They're coming off the loss with Aiden O'Connell at quarterback, but I think the Raiders are the better team here, and it's going to be a close game. It's going to be a close game. It's only the Raiders are only 1.5 point favorite, 44.5 total. I just think the Packers are struggling. They're struggling defensively against the run. Jacobs could get like really get right in this game. I think Jimmy G coming back helps. I think it's going to help their passing game as well. And the Packers offensive line is terrible. They're missing Bakhtiari. They're missing a couple other guys. They're just not good on the offensive line, and I think Matt Crosby could really factor into this game. Really just the Raiders defensive line. I think it's going to be getting after Jordan Love, so we'll see if the back end can hold up, but give me the Raiders here. I think the Raiders would be a good pick this week. They're in my top 5 for a reason. So Jets on the road in Denver. Give me the Jets here. I know that spread has come up from 1.5 to 2.5 Denver, but Breece Hall is going to be unleashed this week. I'll take a chance. I don't like the Jets the most this week. This is why they're number 6. I'm not guaranteeing this one to anybody, but I can't back the Broncos here. I can't back the Broncos in the spot. Breece ran all over the freaking Broncos last year, which was in the same game that he tore his ACL. If he didn't tear his ACL, he was probably gonna run for a buck 50 against the Broncos last. And look, the Broncos defense, maybe they start to figure it out this week, but I don't think so. I think Breece Hall is gonna tear this front 7, front 8 apart, and I think Wilson's gonna play pretty well too. Zach Wilson, I think he's gonna play decent. This defense is just terrible. I don't know how much longer Vance Joseph is gonna be the defensive coordinator, but if he has another bad game here, and the Jets, have season leading numbers of this week, compared to the other weeks that they played, then I wouldn't be surprised if he gets fired. So Jets number 6, I would take the chance. I know they're the dog, but I would take the chance. Baltimore 7. Look, Baltimore, Kansas City, Philly. These guys are just on here. They're safer plays. A lot of people have used them, but if you haven't used them and you don't like, taking some of these other teams that aren't as good, and you're taking a chance, and you want more of a, you want a more comfortable pick. You want to feel more comfortable with your pick. That's why these guys are down here, but they're down at 7, 8, 9 because 1, a lot of people have already used them, and 2, they had better matchups like week 2, 3, and 4, and not the greatest matchups for these guys, but they are, they'll probably make you feel like, Baltimore -4 on the road against a struggling Steelers team. You might be feeling a little bit more comfortable with that. The Chiefs are also on the road in Minnesota, and maybe Minnesota hasn't made you feel, very optimistic about how they're going to play. So the Chiefs could be an option here, and Philly as well. All of these teams are actually on the road. Philly's on the road too, in LA. Rams are getting Cooper Kupp back though as well, so they are 4-point favorites though still. And then the Patriots. I was struggling to find another one. really, I was really struggling to find a 10th team. The Patriots, though, this game's even. The over-under's back down. I know it was at 38. It went up to 40. Now it's at 39. The Patriots were 1-point favorites. Now this game is even. I just think that Belichick gets this one. This is going to be a close game. I feel like the Saints have been struggling on offense. Maybe Derek Carr gets right this week, but I just don't know, man. I got to see it first. And so the Patriots with the home field advantage here is really why I'm going with this one. This is a really coin flippy, game. I know Mac Jones got benched last week. He should be probably back in the lineup here, but this could be an ugly game. This could be a game where like 20 points is scored, to be honest. So it's really anybody's game at that point. The Patriots are missing some guy. They're missing Matthew Judon on the defensive line. They're missing some guy. They're gonna be missing the rookie corner, Christian Gonzalez as well. So maybe this does tip in the Saints' favor a little bit. I gotta see something on offense first, man. So, but they're number 10. They're not a team I'm rushing to the window to pick this week in Survivor. It would be, I'd be more comfortable with like the Raiders, the Falcons, the Dolphins for sure. I really think the Dolphins, if you're really unsure about this week, and which I really kind of am, guys, I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of teams that I have on here that I'm like, yeah, I would just go with the Dolphins. If you guys are like in a league that doesn't have a lot of people left, because it's like your home league, and there's like 4 people left, 3 people left, you need a for sure get me to week 6. Go, just pick the Dolphins. Just pick the Dolphins. The Dolphins are not going to lose that game. If they did, it's probably going to be the biggest upset of the year. So I just don't see it happening. So if you're really not sure at all, if you question maybe the Raiders, you question the Lions because of St. Brown, you question the Titans because they're on the road against a good Indy team, take the Dolphins. That's all I'm going to say to you guys. Take the Dolphins if that's the case. So, let's see here. Let's get into our quarterbacks here, our quarterback rankings. I got a new page. We took all the guys down from last week. So I would say for the most part, our rankings last week were pretty decent. If you guys don't know what they were, you can go ahead and check out my video that we did for our live stream last week. But let's jump into the quarterbacks here. Number 1 is going to be Josh Allen. Over in London this week to play the Jacksonville Jaguars. I know he struggled against the Jaguars a little bit in the past, but I just think he's playing phenomenal right now. He's playing really, really good in the red zone. They're scoring a lot. The Dolphins, I think, who have a pretty good defense, they pretty much, they almost dropped 50 on him last week. So I really, really like Josh Allen here. These are guys that you're locking in. I'm not going to talk too much about Josh Allen and these guys, but these are guys that you're locking into your lineups if you have them. Mahomes is number 2. I don't really need to explain it. He's playing the Minnesota Vikings, and it's really all you need to know. The Minnesota Vikings do not play defense, so he is number 2. Number 3 is going to surprise a few of you guys. It's going to be Tua. I like Tua a little bit better than Jalen Hurts this week, just because they're playing the Giants. The only problem with this game, fantasy-wise, and I don't really think it'll matter, because even if they do end up blowing them out, which I think is a potential thing that could happen here, I don't really think it would matter, just because he's still going to get his no matter what. You know what I mean? He's still going to get he's probably going to get you 30 by the time they yanked him from the game, say if they were the pull starters or whatever, because they're beating them by so much. So I think that's the only thing that could really prevent him from being number 1 QB this week. Obviously Justin Fields is going to be hard to beat on Thursday with his performance. So number 4 is going to be Jalen Hurts here. Decent matchup here, shootout type of matchup here against the Rams, which is good for fantasy. So I know he hasn't been the greatest. The passing game hasn't been the greatest so far this year. They've been running the ball really, really well with Swift, so they've obviously, that doesn't help them as far as passing the ball either. So, but they also need to be a little bit more efficient in the passing game. So, and I think really, if this is a shootout type of game, which I think it could be, Get a 50.5 point total here. This should help Jalen Hurts. Plus you got that QB sneak, 1 yard touchdown runs that he's going to be getting you. I suspect you get probably 1 this week, maybe 2. We'll see, but it just depends on how many times a guy comes down at the 1 yard line. You can pretty much bank on it. If a guy comes down at the 1 yard line, it's a Hurts quarterback sneak. So number 5 here, we're going to keep it pretty simple here. Lamar Jackson. I had him number 5 last week. He's number 5 again this week. Pittsburgh's defense is not playing good this year, and I just think he's getting all the work inside the 10-yard line as far as rushing the ball. Maybe they start to go to Gus Edwards a little bit this week. We'll see, but until then, and really I think the passing needs. I think it's going to start to become more fluid. There's gonna be more opportunities. There's gonna be more passes. He hasn't really thrown too many passes each game. I feel like that's still yet to come. So give me Lamar Jackson here at 5. Number 6 is going to be Richardson. Rounding out our top 6, Anthony Richardson here at home against Tennessee. Tennessee's been playing really, really good. This could be maybe a little bit of a letdown spot maybe for somebody like Richardson, but if you're in a league where you got premium points on rushing touchdowns and stuff like that, or rushing yards, you have to start this guy. And I think he's going to be okay passing the ball. Tennessee's pass defense is not nearly as good as their rushing defense. So maybe they contain the running backs, but they don't contain him. You know what I mean? So give me Richardson here at 6. Number 7. I had him 7 last week. He's kind of disappointed. I'm going to keep him here at 7 though. Kirk Cousins. There's nobody else that's left that I could put over him right here. Obviously, you could make a case that Fields could be. Obviously, it's going to be over him this week. But I made this list. I had this before Thursday night. I'm not changing my rankings just because Fields went crazy Thursday night. I'm not going to do that because that's me being untrue to my rankings that I made prior. I made these rankings prior to Thursday night, guys. I just hadn't been able to stream and to get on here. I've been busy doing stuff, but I'm not changing my rankings just because Fields had a really, really good night Thursday night. I know, if you guys had Fields, he's obviously probably going to be the number 1 quarterback this week or close to it. So, but Cousins was my 7th ranked quarterback this week. Number 8 was Jared Goff. This may I'm actually going to move Jared Goff down just because of the St. Brown news, because he's not playing. So I'm going to move him down here. Fields was 9, so I'll move Fields up to 8. Fields was my 9th ranked quarterback. I'm going to move him up here just because of the news about St. Brown not being available. And then number 10 is Jordan Love, so I'm going to move him up. I'm gonna move Goff down a couple spots here, to be honest. So Love here at number 9. Goff's going to be number 10. I think him not having St. Brown's going to hurt a little bit. It's going to. St. Brown is a guy who's been catching touchdowns. He's a guy who's hauling in 5-6 balls a game. So Love at number 9. I'm going to move Goff from 8 all the way down to 10. And then so number 11 is going to be CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud's going to be number 11. I just think this guy has been playing out of his mind. He's been playing really, really good. I don't think it's going to change much. I know he's got a little bit of a tough defense here, and he's playing against a team, the Falcons, who if they win this game and they control the ball, they could limit opportunities for the other team because they run running the ball is going to run the clock. And so there's going to be less possessions, but this could go the other way, though, as well. This could be the Falcons playing from behind once again, and Stroud is throwing it all over the yard. And, he's throwing for 300 yards. He's throwing, touchdowns. So give me Stroud right here. He's been playing really, really good. I said moving forward from last week, he was going to be a low-end quarterback 1 for the rest of the year, I think. And I really think he's going to be that for the most part. I think he's going to finish right around 10 to 14 in terms of rank you know, in fantasy points for the QB position. So number 11 this week against the Falcons. Number 12, sliding all the way down here to 12 is Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is he's got to show me something. He's got a tough matchup here too against a pretty good Bills defense. They did lose Tre'Davious White, but you know, maybe that's a little bit better for Ridley. But for T-Law, I need to see something this week, and I really think we will see something for him. But I can't rank him much higher than this based off how he's performed. I thought he was going to have a bounce back week last week. He didn't really. They are staying in London though for this game against the Bills, so I think that's to their advantage. And I would just say this. So let me see what the spread's still 5.5. I would take Jacksonville plus the 5.5, guys. If I'm being honest, I think that's the fact that Jacksonville is only 5.5 point favorite should tell you that Jacksonville is probably going to cover this number, if not win the game. That spread should be higher than 5.5. That's all I'm going to say. You have a Bills team that won by 28 points against arguably the best team in football, or one of the top 3 teams in football, against the Dolphins last week. And then they go over to London. They're traveling to London and they're playing a struggling Jacksonville team that has not looked good, and they're only 5.5 point favorites. So that's kind of fishy in my opinion. QB number two, or no, not QB2, QB2s. So you get your QB1s here, 1 through 12. These are your QB2s. QB number 13, the lead off the QB2, is going to be Joseph Cigar Smoking Burrow. He's been playing terrible this year. They just haven't got it. On, you know, in sync between him and the receivers, and the offensive line's playing bad as well. Mixon hasn't really been producing much. Burrow's going to be the first guy here, your QB2 spot. I can't really rank him higher than this. Just, you know, what we've seen from the Bengals. The offensive line, like I said, has been bad. And they just have been struggling to score points. And so, but they do have a little bit of a decent bounce back spot here against Arizona as far as fantasy goes. I think they're going to struggle to win the game. I do think they'll win the game, but, you know, I kind of wanted to put them on here. I do think they would be like 11 or 12 on my survivor list right here, as far as, you know, winning the game against the Cardinals on the road here. I think they're 3-point favorites still, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they're still 3-point favorites. But Burrow's going to be here as our first QB number 2, QB rank 13 this week. I got to see it, man. I got to see it first before I can move him up. I know a lot of people that have him. I know guys that have like him and Jared Goff, and they're starting Jared Goff every week right now. So I think he's starting Jared Goff this week again, the guy in my league that has both of those guys. So QB 14 was Sam Howell, just because he had a good matchup against a bad Bears defense. I believe he played pretty well. I don't really know because I don't own him. I guess I can look real quick, but I'm pretty sure he played decent. He had over, I think he had about 350 passing yards. Threw a couple touchdowns, I believe, as well. Let me see. I really don't even know how he did, to be honest, because nobody owns him. Looks like, yeah, 28 points. Yeah, 388 yards, couple touchdowns. The other night, Thursday night. Man, these Thursday night games are starting to become really high scoring now compared to what they've been in, you know, recent years. Yeah, 388 yards though, 2 touchdowns. Really, he's probably going to finish better than this QB 14 rank that I have him at. Same thing with Fields, obviously. Fields is going to finish better as well. But like I said, I had these ranks out before the Thursday night game, and so I'm not going to change them just to like make me look better. This is just what I had them ranked at, you know what I mean? This is what I had them ranked at. I'm sticking to what I had them ranked at before the Thursday night game. So QB 15 is going to be Matthew Stafford here against the Eagles. Eagles defense has struggled a little bit here, really the last couple weeks or so against quarterbacks. They're decent against the run. They weren't the greatest against the run this past week, but they're struggling against the pass. They're struggling against the pass. And, you know, the Rams lead the league in 11 personnel, which is 3 receiver sets. They're going to be slinging it a ton. Kyron Williams faces the, I think he faces on average, you know, top 5 in the least amount of defenders in the box on average. That's why he's been so efficient and so good for us. So this could be a shootout-ish type game. 50.5 points. Give me Stafford here at QB 15 this week. He is startable over, say, somebody like a Love or somebody like even Stroud, I think, this week, or even somebody like T-Law. If you have like both of these guys, I would not. It's close. It's close, but you know, you're making a gut decision if you have 2 of these guys that are ranked between 10 and 15. But I wouldn't knock you if somebody started like Stafford over Burrow this week or something like that. So this could be a pretty good game. He's got Cooper Kupp coming back as well. Cooper Kupp will play Sunday as well. So, all right, Purdy's going to be 16 here against Dallas. Purdy's just been playing pretty good. Like really phenomenal. Really, the way that he's played this year. He still hasn't lost a regular season game yet. He's got a ton of weapons at his disposal as well. Ayuk's playing really good. Debo didn't really show up much, but you know, last week, but he still is a guy that, you know, is just another weapon for Purdy. So having Debo, Ayuk playing really well. Really, I think Ayuk's one of the best route runners in the game. And then you got Christian McCaffrey in the backfield. It's just, sky's the limit. And Purdy's making all the right decisions. Purdy is a game manager type of quarterback, just like Jimmy G was. The only difference is I think he's just better than Jimmy G. I think he's better. And he's going to continue to get better as he gets more and more games underneath his belt, more years in this system. So, yo, Ray, what's up, man? We're going over quarterback rankings right now. We just went over our Survivor Week 5. We went over Week 4, how we did. We went 9-1. And then we just went over our Week 5 Survivor picks, which are these ones this week. So, I guess scroll back to the beginning if you want to hear me talk about the Survivor picks. All right, quarterback 17 is going to be a guy that I don't even have on here because I'm an idiot. Well, let me get this guy on here. It's going to be Josh Dobbs. I forgot to make his little cutout here. Let me get Dobbs on here real quick. I knew I was missing somebody. Yeah, Joshua Dobbs against the Bengals this week. He's just a guy that's been playing really good fantasy wise. And there's going to be a lot of people, like I know somebody starting him in my league because they have Herbert on bye. So they ended up picking up Dobbs. Dobbs, I think, is one of the better pickups this week for a, you know, for a fantasy quarterback scenario. The Bengals defense hasn't really been too impressive. Dobbs throws the ball a ton. Cardinals are going to keep continuing to like throw the ball just because they're playing behind in games. They're the underdogs in pretty much most of these games. And I think he's a solid option to go with if you just, you know, you have a guy on bye or something and everybody in your league owns 2 quarterbacks. There's no quarterbacks out there on the waiver wire. You're looking for one. This guy is more than likely one that's out there. So Dobbs here at 17. The production for fantasy is just, it's more than likely going to be there just because, like I said, playing from behind, and he's been pretty efficient getting it to Marquise Brown, getting it to Zach Ertz, James Conner, those guys. So he does have some weapons at his disposal. So Dobbs 17. 18 is going to be I feel like I had the wrong quarterback. I do. 18 is going to be Daniel Jones. I feel like this is a little high for Daniel Jones. Maybe it is. But the fact of the matter is that like they're in a game where they're going to be playing from behind against the Dolphins, and he's going to have to perform. Getting Barkley back helps. I don't know how healthy Barkley's going to be, but getting Barkley back helps Jones's fantasy production. So, I mean, we'll see, man. We'll see Barkley, how healthy he is, but if he is healthy, ready to go, I think Jones can kind of bounce back. I don't think he's a guy you're going to be starting, but he's a guy who's down here at 18 that I would consider playing. 20 is going to be Dak. Dak against the Niners. I don't really trust Dak too much, but he struggled against the Niners, man. He always struggles against the Niners a little bit, and to me that's cause for concern a little bit. And so I'm just I'm not super high on him this week, but he could be okay. I think CeeDee Lamb's going to be okay. CeeDee Lamb and Debo usually play pretty good against each other, you know, as far as against the Cowboys for Debo, and then CD plays pretty well against the Niners. So maybe, you know, Dak gets the ball to CD quite a bit. Pollard maybe falls in the end zone this week. But Dak, I can't have him ranked much higher. You know, I'm not taking Dak over Stafford or like Purdy or, you know, these guys that are from 7 to 12, you know what I mean? So I just can't do it. Cannot do it. So these guys are on bye. Let me get all the quarterbacks that are on bye here. Herbert, Geno, they are on bye. Watson's on bye. And who else is on bye here? Mayfield's on bye. So these guys are guys you're going to bench because they're on bye, obviously. 20 is going to be Russell Wilson here against the Jets. Don't love the matchup, but, you know, Russ is, you know, he's kind of in this territory, man. This is where he is. He's a QB like 16 to 24. I think he's going to be like this the rest of the year. This is going to be a game where, like, you know, I like the way that they're, you know, they're throwing the ball a ton. The running backs haven't been doing much for them. Jaleel McLaughlin's been okay, but he's going to get more work this week with the Javonte injury. But this is a tough matchup against this defense, man. Good Jets defense. Very good Jets defense. And you could have guys in his face, I think, a lot this weekend. So 21 is going to be the other Wilson here, Zach Wilson. I know this is a little high, but I think he's going to be okay this week. Like I said, the Denver has one of the worst defenses in the league, if not the worst. It's terrible. You guys seen what they did to Fields last week, you know, just leaving guys open for Fields to throw to. They can't stop the run at all. I think they're going to struggle against, you know, with Breece Hall having no snap share, or, you know, having no snap share count where he's limited. And if Breece in the running game gets going a little bit in this game, Zach Wilson's going to thrive off of it. He's going to be able to make some throws that really he hasn't been able to make as much, just because how inefficient the run game and the passing game together have kind of been. One's going to benefit the other regardless. So if Wilson keeps playing well as a quarterback, you can look for Breece Hall in the running game to get going as well, which, like I said, then in turn is going to open up play action passes. I think Zach Wilson will be fine. I wouldn't play him this week unless you're dying for a quarterback. You have some guys like Herbert or somebody like that, and you had to go pick somebody up off the waiver wire, and he was there, you know, and say Dobbs wasn't there, but Zach Wilson was. I could understand you starting Zach Wilson this week, but maybe hopefully you have a different option. Nonetheless, though, QB 21, QB 22 is going to be. It's gonna, you know, it's gonna be Jimmy G. It's got to be Jimmy G. He's back in this week. I know they play Monday night against the Packers, but like I said, the Packers defense hasn't been too great. I think this is a good game for Jacobs, obviously, but Jimmy G being back in the lineup, you know, helps the receivers, helps out Adams, definitely helps out Jacoby Myers, who I think struggled last week just because of O'Connell being the quarterback. So give me Jimmy G this week at 22. 23 is going to be Ryan Tannehill against the Colts defense here on the road. nothing really that really say other than he's quarterback 23, guys. I mean, he's better than, I think, Mac. He's better than Pickett at this point. He's better than Carr, I even think, right now. And, you know, to a degree. Carr's going to be 24, but these guys, Tannehill and Carr, are in this category where they need to show me something before I can move them up higher. They need to do something. Especially Carr, because I have Olave on my team. I know some of you guys are Olave owners. Some of you guys have Kamara. But we need to see Carr like play better this week. This is getting ridiculous. He's killing my Olave shares right now. So these guys are going to be guys that you're benching. Mac Jones. Don't start Mac Jones if you have him on your team. If you have him in Superflex, try to find a second guy to start over him. I'd probably go with like Ritter if I had the option. I really want to go with one of these other guys, but yeah, Mac Jones, man, and like a super flex, and he's your second QB. I don't know if I'm starting him this week. I would try to find another option. So these are our top 24 QBs for this week. So Allen, Mahomes, Tua, Hurts, Lamar, Richardson, the top 6, so on and so forth here. Like I said, Fields was ranked. I moved Fields from 9 to 8 just because I moved Goff down from 8 to 10 because of the St. Brown news. I did have Goff originally at 8. Like I said, I had Fields originally at 9, moved them up 1 because of this. But I'm not moving Fields like number 1 QB this week because he probably ends up being the number 1 QB. Like I said, I made these rankings on Wednesday before the Thursday night game, so I'm not changing my rankings just because he went crazy. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be untrue to you guys by doing that. So let's go to running backs here. Let's go to the guys that we're pretty much locking in. The guys that we're pretty much locking in are Bijan. I have Bijan at 2. CMC's at 1 again this week, once again. This could be a week though where Bijan, I think, breaks loose. Just breaks loose and probably ends up being number 1 running back this week, to be honest. It wouldn't shock me. Pollard, number 3, guy that you're locking in. See if Pollard can bounce back here against the Niners. The Niners have been a little bit kind of shaky on defense, so maybe Pollard breaks away a run or something, breaks away a big touchdown run or something, or big touchdown catch and run. Don't lose faith in Pollard, guys. Pollard's a monster. He's secretly a monster that people just don't realize that they have on their team if they own him. So number 4 is going to be Kyren Williams. I know the Eagles have a good rushing defense. The problem is that Kyren can affect the game multiple ways in the passing game and in the running game. He's getting all the snaps. He's getting all the goal line carries. Ronnie Rivers worked in a little bit last week, but we're not worried about Ronnie Rivers at all. Kyren Williams is really getting a lot. I mean, he's getting one of the biggest work shares of any running back in the league right now. So Kyren's starting to look like the Jacobs of last year, I think, to a degree. So Philadelphia, not the greatest matchup, but they have a high point total here, shootout type of game. And the thing is that Kyren he's not factored out of the offense if, say, they're losing and they start passing the ball a ton. He's a guy who catches the ball out of the backfield as well, and Stafford has no problem dumping him the ball and getting him 8 to 10 targets in some of these games. So Kyren, number 4. These guys are guys you're locking in though. You're playing them. Really, the top 12 guys, for the most part, are guys that you're playing if you have them on your team. Like, they have to be playing. It doesn't matter the matchup. So number 5, Josh Jacobs. This is a explosion type week for him. I think Monday night, this could be a big night for him. I thought last week was going to be a bigger game for him than what he had. He did okay, he got there with the passing, with the receptions, but Jacobs, number 5 this week. Like I said, you're locking him in. You have to lock him in. 6 is going to be Monty. Where's Monty at? Monty, look at Monty coming from RB3 into the top 6. Monty's a guy you have to start. I think it's even probably better news for Monty owners that St. Brown is doubtful, not going to play. The Lions could lean on the run here. They're 9.5-point favorites. They're going to be probably winning pretty early. They're going to be leaning on Monty. I don't know if he's going to get you 32 carries again, but he could get anywhere from 20 to 25 carries pretty much any game that they're winning in, and I think they're going to be winning in this one as well. So, and Monty's getting all the goal line work. He's getting all the work inside the 10-yard line. So Gibbs is pretty much non-factor for him there. So Monty, number 6, you're starting him if you have him on your team. You have to. Number 7, Kamara. 13 catches last week on 14 targets. We'll see what Carr does this week, man. I don't know if he's going to keep dumping him the ball. I hope not. As a Kamara owner, or as a Olave owner. But Kamara is a guy, I think regardless, he's pretty much taken over that backfield in 1 week. Kendre Miller, this guy right here, was pretty much a non-factor. They did not use him much, and like I said, Kamara's getting all the receiving work, so that's why Kamara is such an asset. Anybody who stashed this guy on their bench for 3 weeks, you guys drafted him in round 8 or round 9, like I was telling you guys too back during the offseason in best ball. This guy was a steal. This guy should have been going on round 4, round 5, maybe round 6 at the latest. But we were getting him round 8, round 9 almost all offseason. So, yeah, Kamara, number 7 this week. Tough matchup, but it doesn't matter because he's in the same position that like somebody like Kyron's in. He's going to get receiving work out of the backfield. So, even though it's a tough defense, even though the game script may not go their way, it won't matter. So, number 8 is going to be, where's he at? Where's he at? Where's he at? Did I not have him on here? No, I got him on here. There he is. Achane. Achane is going to be number 8 here for the Dolphins this week. Really, I have Mostert a little bit lower, not much lower, but both Dolphins running backs are almost a full go this week if you got them. You have to start them if you got one of them. If you have them both, maybe start them both, maybe not. It really just depends on who else you got. I would hope that you don't have both of these guys on your team. If you do, it's going to suck because you're going to be hard-pressed to figure out which one to start. Either one of them could have a good game. Really, both of them could have a good game. This could be a very similar game to like the Broncos. I don't think they're going to score 70, but this could be a game that gets out of hand real quick. So the only thing I worry about is garbage time. They bring in backups or something. That's the only thing I really worry about with this game. Number 9 is going to be Derrick Henry, who I gotta find. I have no idea where Derrick Henry is. Where's he at? Here's Spears. Here he is. He's all the way down here in the bottom right. Derrick Henry's gonna be number 9. Colts defense. We'll see if they can stop him, but I'm gonna say I doubt it. I think Henry does pretty well here. He's a guy you're locking in no matter what. I don't have him ranked. I think I have him ranked higher than consensus. Let me check consensus real quick. I do have Henry. I actually have Henry ranked under consensus. Consensus has him like inside top 5. Yeah, I have him a little bit behind consensus, but it is what it is. He's still a guy you're locking in. He's still a top 12 guy you're locking in. Number 10. Number 10, I had Brian Robinson. I know he didn't finish the greatest, but I had Robinson 10. Like I said, I'm not changing these rankings just because of how they performed on Thursday. I had these rankings made up on Wednesday. I just hadn't gotten to, live streaming it to you guys yet, but I'm not changing these rankings just because, I probably missed on this one. I don't think Robinson had the greatest day. I did think he was going to have a really good day considering playing against the Chicago Bears defense. Yeah, he didn't do very well. He got game scripted out, guys, is what happened. He only had 36% of the snaps, 6 carries for 10 yards. Did catch all four of his targets for 33 yards, but this is where I had him, guys. This is where I had him, so this is one that we obviously missed on already. So, number 11. Number 11 is going to be Swift. heck is Swift at? There he is. Swift is number 11 this week. This is a guy you just have to start. You have to start if you have him. Really a pretty decent matchup here against the Rams. Outside of Aaron Donald in the front four, you know, they don't have much, you know, as much talent as other teams. Let's just put it that way. And they have a bunch of young guys on this defense as well. So this could be a game where, you know, the offensive line kind of bullies the defense here again for the Eagles, and Swift has a pretty decent day, gets you close to 100 yards, if not more than 100 yards, and maybe a score. Really Swift's, I think he's in store for a score every single week, as long as they're not on the 1 yard line. If they're on the 1 yard line, it's going to Jalen Hurts, guys. This is the only problem with owning Swift. And I know it's frustrating. It really is. I don't really have them. I have them in best ball quite a bit, but I don't have them in my normal leagues, you know, my home leagues. But I could understand if you guys had them. It'd be frustrating, dude, watching him getting points taken from him every single freaking week, because they get down to the 1 and they just run this QB sneak crap, this rugby style QB sneak. So Swift is 11. 12 is going to be Mostert, the other Dolphin here. So Achane and Mostert, 8 and 12 apiece here. If you got them both on the same team, I would want to know who your other running backs are before I would say not to start both of them. Because if you had like Monty or Jacobs to go with Achane and Mostert, I would tell you to probably start Monty in place of Mostert or Achane, depending on which one you don't want, which one you think is going to go off. The thing is about Achane is that he's not, like, he didn't have quite as many snaps last week, and he was still able to produce on the touches that he had. He didn't have very many touches. Played 60% of snaps, only had 8 carries, but went for over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns, only 5 targets, 3 catches. So he was still able to produce on minimal amount of touches, you know, opportunities. So Raheem Mostert had, really, Mostert played less snaps, 43%. I believe he got dinged up though in this game. 7 carries for 9 yards. He also had 5 targets, 3 catches for 36 yards. So Achane, in my opinion, he's the younger guy, he's the rookie. Mostert's 31, he'll be 32 here pretty soon. Achane's the most the more electric guy, the more, you know, the guy who's really capable of making big plays, and so for that reason, that's why I got Achane over him. So running back 13 is going to be ETN, dropping all the way down here. He's got a tough matchup against the Bills. He's been struggling lately. I don't know when he's going to get right, guys. I really don't know. Obviously, if you own this guy, you're probably starting him regardless. A lot of people drafted this guy as their RB1, so I mean, I don't know what to tell you guys. He's just got a tough matchup here. He's getting the snap percentages. He's got the role. He has the lead role as the lead back. He's getting the touches, 18, 12, 19, 20. That's just rushing the ball. And really, he's getting the targets and the receptions as well. He's just not getting in the end zone, and his yards per carry is just not there. The Jaguars offensive line is struggling a little bit. It's going to struggle again this week against a pretty good Bills defense. Maybe the Bills come out flat though, because they had to travel across the country, or, you know, across the pond. So, but running back 13 this week, I think he's got better weeks ahead for sure. Running back 14 is going to be Pacheco, coming off last week. Plus, they got another good matchup this week. I still am not high on this guy, but he does have a good matchup this week. And he's playing against a team that cannot stop the run. So, Pacheco, running back 14, probably starting him this week if you have him. If you don't start him, you have to have really good running backs in place of him. So, Pacheco, running back 14 this week. Fire him up. Running back 15, Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon here against the Arizona Cardinals. I just got to see something from, like I said, dude, all of these guys that we're ranking for the Cincinnati Bengals, we got to see something from these guys before I can really start moving them up rankings. I don't think this is the greatest matchup. It is kind of a decent matchup, but we'll see, man. I expect Mixon really to get a touchdown or two in this game, and if he doesn't, I would not be very optimistic about him the rest of the year. Let's just put it that way. I'm not really optimistic about him to begin with. I had this guy on my team. I got stuck. So this I'm gonna tell you guys what happened, because I own this guy in my auction league. I was trying to bid this guy up, and I kind of got stuck with him. I'm just gonna tell you guys up front. I got stuck with him. I drafted him for $35. I didn't really want him, but I eventually moved him. I got off of him 2 weeks ago. So going into week 4, right before week 4 started, I traded him. I showed you guys that trade. I ended up moving him, a couple other pieces. I ended up getting Kyron Williams and a couple other pieces. Addison is another guy that I also got in that trade. But I moved off him and Jerome Ford basically to get Addison and Kyron. And there was a couple other players in there, but kind of irrelevant players. But you know what I mean? This guy, I don't trust this guy at his age. I like to go have the younger backs on my team. That's why I have Walker. That's why I have Brees. That's why I have Kyron now. I like to have younger running backs on my team. And this guy is struggling. This offense is struggling. And I don't know if it's going to be getting better as fast as we need it to get better. Let's just put it that way. So this should be a decent bounce back game for Mixon. But if he doesn't bounce back here, I will be hitting the panic button on him. Let's just put it that way. In terms of fantasy production. So they just don't get him the ball enough, it seems like. So, and I don't know why that is. So he's been pretty efficient running the ball. They just don't get him the ball that much. They don't give him the ball as much as they should be getting him the ball, I don't think. So, especially now that P. Ryan's gone, it's just weird. It's weird the way that they're using him. 16 is going to be James Cook here, going up against the Jaguars. I think Cook could probably be a little bit higher on this list. The problem is the touchdown production, and whether or not he gets in the end zone with Latavius Murray and Damian Harris working in. You know what I mean? He's got the explosive plays. I don't think they're throwing the ball to him as much as what you would want to see. But yeah, he had one target for 1 catch last week for 48 yards. He's a big play guy. If we knew he was getting like a solid 20 to 25 touches between the passing and running game every single week, he'd be easily inside the top 10. But you factor that in, he's only had 1 touchdown. He finally got a touchdown last week. He's going to be this guy that's just floating between this 12 to like 16 range, I think, the whole year, which is pretty much, you know, it's running back 2 department stuff. So Cook 16. This is a guy though that could be inside the top 10 if they just get him the ball, and he you know, if he was getting the ball inside the 10-yard line, which he's not. So plus you factor in Josh Allen on his team running quarterback, it's also going to hurt his production a little bit. Running back 17, Brees Hall. Here he is this week. Fire him up. No restriction on his use, according to Robert Saleh. And he's playing against a really bad Broncos defense. This is the week, man. I'm going to be shocked if Hall doesn't go get us like 20 or more. I'm going to be a little bit shocked, to be honest. I really think this is a week. I mean, this guy is super efficient. He's one of the most efficient backs in the league. And he's had... Look, guys, he's had 31, 34, 49, 44% of snaps. Wasn't quite efficient in these 2 games. These were tough matchups, granted, against really some of the, like, you know, a good run stopping defense and a good just overall defense in Dallas. Plus they only gave him the ball like 4 times against Dallas. I really throw that Dallas game out the window. This game, Wilson wasn't playing well. You guys see, like, when Wilson plays decent, played pretty decent against Buffalo. Of course, the defense played really well as well. Played defense against Kansas City. He's efficient with his touches, because if the defense has to kind of, you know, account for the passing game a little bit, this guy faces, I think, the most 8-man fronts in the league so far through the first 4 weeks. and he doesn't even play over 50% of the snaps yet. He's going to get, I think, about 60% of the snaps here. We look what he did against Denver last year before he tore his ACL. 4 carries for 72 yards. He had that one long, like 66 yarder or whatever it was. And then obviously he tore his ACL, but I'm telling you guys right now, this is the week to fire him up. I have him on my team. Obviously I have Kenneth Walker on bye, you know, Charbonnet on bye. So I kind of have to fire him up here. I was going to fire him up regardless, but this is the week, guys. Even if you have other guys, depending on who your other guys are, like if you don't quite trust Pacheco, go with Hall this week. You know what I mean? Tingley says, I'm in a one flex league. I got Kamara, HN, and Pacheco. Should I start Pacheco, Flowers, or sell at flex? Sell at flex. Is that Dell? You mean Dell? I think you mean Dell, right? Pacheco, Flowers, or Dell? I would probably start Pacheco. Pacheco's got a really, really good matchup this week, guys, against a bad defense in Minnesota. So, yeah, because you have to start Kamara and HN. So Pacheco, yeah, I got Pacheco higher on my rankings than Flowers and Dell this week. So I would go Pacheco, bro. Go Pacheco. Dell, yeah, Dell. Yeah, that's what I thought. So you get Flowers, Dell, Pacheco, go Pacheco. Go Pacheco, bro. All right. Running back 18 is going to be Saquon. I can't rake him much higher than this guy. He's coming off the ankle. I'm almost going to be shocked if he plays, to be honest. High ankle sprain. He's missed what? This is what? His second week back, right? Second week? Let me double check that. How many weeks? He's only been out 1 week, right? He only missed the Monday night game, right? No, he missed San Francisco. Yeah, okay. He missed San Francisco. He missed Seattle. Yeah, I can't rank him higher than this, guys. With the way that offense looks, the way Daniel Jones is playing, they're playing against a team that's going to be probably up 10 points early, if I had to guess, before halftime. So you could get game scripted out of this game. I mean, I don't know. They're not really going to game script them out unless they're getting blown out like they did against Dallas. But I can't rank him higher than this, guys. I just can't do it. I feel like you're gonna fire this guy up in your lineup if you have him. You're gonna have to probably, unless you drafted a bunch of really good running backs like behind. Like let's say you got like Kyren and Monty, and you got like HN. Like if you have those 3 guys to go with Barkley because you drafted those guys late, then maybe you don't start Barkley this week, to be honest. But it's going to be tough, man, because of the draft capital you spent on him, if that's the case. Everybody else, though, that probably has him, that, you know, you didn't draft maybe a bunch of good running backs behind him, you're definitely firing him up. You're just crossing your fingers and hoping and praying that he plays good, so. But it's a tough matchup, man, because I don't like the way the offense is playing. They're playing against a team that could blow them out early. And, Olave or Barkley standard? Is that standard or is that half PPR or 0 PPR? So standard, right? Is that what that means? Sprinkles? Let me know if that's standard. I'm gonna say Barkley probably, because I just don't. I don't know, dude. I don't trust Carr right now, and they're playing against a decent Patriots defense, but I could see Olave catching a deep one this week. I could see him catching a 55-yard bomb or something like that, you know, for a touchdown. But if it's no PPR, dude, I feel like you gotta go Barkley. It's standard. If it's standard, I feel like you have to go Barkley. Don't hate me though if Olave like catches a big bomb or something and he ends up playing better than Barkley. I wouldn't be shocked, but then again, I don't know if I trust it either. I don't know if I trust it the way, you know, Carr coming, you know, basically playing through the injury last week. Didn't look good. He was just dumping it to Kamara for 2 yards, 2 yards a catch. It just, I don't know, man. I'm an Olave owner, guys. It sucks, man. It sucks with what's going on. I thought Carr was going to be good. I still have faith in Carr, but the injury concerns me. He's playing through it. We have a bad matchup against New England, so Barkley, if it's standard, I have to go Barkley. Like if it's me, dude, I'm putting Barkley in. I'm assuming this is your flex. If this is your flex, you must have a pretty good team then. If you're flexing one of those two guys, you have to have a good team. So you'll probably be all right. Running back 19 is going to be Aaron Jones. Hopefully this is a bounce back for him against the Raiders. The Raiders don't have the greatest defense. They have to get this guy involved if they're going to be competitive against the Raiders, or really if they're just going to be competitive in any game going forward. Dylan's terrible. Dylan right here, he's terrible. Let's just move him over here real quick because he's terrible. Patrick Taylor's not really going to be a guy we're worried about. They have to get this guy involved though. Like if Aaron Jones is involved the way he should be, like he was against the Bears, he can be a really good fantasy player for you. He's in this running back 2 department for now. He could move up to like 11 or 12 if they just start getting him involved and he stays healthy. You know, the health is also another concern. But they have to get this guy involved to be a contending team week in and week out. They can't just rely on Love and the passing game. They have to get this running back involved. Dylan's terrible. And, I mean, this is his backfield. This is Jones's backfield. He just has to stay healthy, and they have to get him the ball. They did not get him the ball Thursday night last week against the Lions. You know, and really, and I think he came out a few plays too because of injury as well. But for the most part, he's not injured. But I do worry about his health a little bit. Running back 20, it's going to be James Conner here against the Bengals. You know, got shut down a little bit last week against San Francisco. We kind of seen that coming. That's why I was telling you guys to sell him as high as you could. Bengals, you know, not the greatest defense. It's not the worst matchup, but this guy's got the backfield to himself, man. He's got the work share. Maybe this is a little bit of a bounce back spot. So running back 20 is where I got him. I like these other guys obviously ahead of him that I got ahead of him, but you could fire this guy up as your running back 2 depending on your roster. It just depends on who you got in front of him. So like I said, you got 2 of these guys in front of him. Maybe you put him at flex. Maybe you put him at your flex spot. Running back 21. Running back 21 is going to be Sanders. Once again, another guy who's got the workload in his backfield. He's got the whole backfield to himself for the most part. Chuba Hubbard gets worked in a little bit, but Sanders gets plenty of touches week in and week out. His offensive line's just terrible. 13 carries last week. He's running for, you know, less than like 3 yards a carry right now. Not as many targets, 3 of 3. He caught all 3 of his targets though, 13 yards. Had 9 targets week 3, 5 targets week 2, 6 week 1. Tough guy to trust. Detroit's defense has been playing really, really well, which also probably doesn't help. The matchup's not the greatest, but you know, he's healthy. He's healthy. He doesn't have an injury designation this week. I worry about him. I'm not. It's just tough to rank him lower than this just because of the workload he has. I feel like he's going to have a decent game at some point, and so maybe it's this week. So Sanders at 21. Number 22, Madison against the Chiefs, against my Chiefs here. I think Akers is going to get involved a little bit more, but until we see Akers like really move into that 50-50 role, Madison's like borderline, like outside the top 24 or borderline barely inside of it right now. So I think this is a decent matchup. I don't think the Chiefs are the greatest against fantasy running backs, but we'll see. It really just depends on how bad the game script gets, and if they have to like you know, if they have to start passing it a ton, it's not going to be good. I think the Minnesota Vikings keep this game pretty close. Spread's like 3.5. I think it was like 4.5 or 5. I think early on in the week. But Madison, 73% snap share week 1, week 2 was 76, week 3 was 80, 69% last week. That was with Akers involved a little bit. He's been kind of efficient on the ground. Obviously, the fumbles have been killing him. He's only lost one fumble, though. He didn't lose one last week. You know, he got the ball security. But here's the thing, dude. They don't trust him. That's why they brought Akers in to begin with. So it just depends on how much Akers plays. I don't think Akers is going to move into a 50-50 role quite yet. But it could be coming in the next couple of weeks. But until then, Madison, low-end RB2. Low-end RB2. So and that's where I got him here at 22. 23, Damian Pierce this week here against the Falcons. He's starting to get some offensive linemen back here. I think he's going to be getting some offensive linemen back. Let me double check that real quick. I think Laremy Tunsil is supposed to be back this week, right? Let me just double check that real quick. Laremy Tunsil's questionable. Josh Jones is ruled out. Josh Jones and who's the other guy here? I think he's going to get the other two offensive linemen back. Yeah, Josh Jones and I think Josh Jones will be back next week, week 6. But Laremy Tunsil could be back this week. So, I think Charlie Heck might be back next week as well. But this week he could get back Laremy Tunsil, which is huge. Once he starts getting his offensive lineman back, I think Pierce is going to be really, really good. He's going to become much better than what he's been. This is a guy who's a buy low candidate for me. We haven't went over the buy, sell, or holds. We might go over this later tomorrow for buy, sell, holds. I know it's going to be tough to make some trades on a Saturday, but we'll go over that maybe later at like a later stream later, like Saturday afternoon, which is today. But Pierce 23. Number 24 is going to be. I'm gonna put Jahmyr Gibbs here, just barely inside. Look, there's no St. Brown. I didn't have Jahmyr Gibbs inside the top 24 this week, but I'm gonna put him in just inside this week, just because of the St. Brown news earlier today. So St. Brown not gonna be there. I feel like they have to use Gibbs a little bit more in the passing game. So I'm going to be shocked if they don't start using him more in the passing game, to be honest. I feel like they have to this week with no St. Brown, and that's why I have him here at 24 to round out our top 24. Let's go running back threes here. Let's go guys like from top to bottom for the most part. Let's move all these guys out of here. All these guys over here. So running back threes, guys from top to bottom. Taylor's going to be up here. Possible flex. Stevenson's going to be next. We got Najee. Where's Najee at? What do I do with Najee? I buried him underneath here. Najee's going to be next. These guys are just outside the top 24 for the most part. Gus the Bus. This could be a week for him where he gets in the end zone maybe once or twice. But I don't know if I'm rushing to start him in any of my lineups. It really just depends. Flex spot, Rashid Rice or Jalen Warren. This week? That's a good question, man. That's a close one. That's a close one. Give me Jalen Warren, bro. Give me Jalen Warren. I think Jalen Warren's a little bit more explosive. They're going to start using him, I think, a little bit more and more each week. And at any point, if Najee goes down at any point in the game, like, you're going to wish you had Warren in your lineup. When I say like go down, like he could go down maybe in the middle of the game. You know, I'm not wishing that upon him, but you know what I'm saying. Traded Hurts, Goddard, Khalil Herbert for Saquon, Kittle, and Stroud. Your thoughts? I think you lost the trade. It's close though. Give me Kittle over Goddard. Give me Hurts over Saquon. Give me CJ Stroud over Khalil Herbert though. I'm gonna say you lost this trade, bro. I'm taking the Hurts side. If you get the Hurts side, then you're good. But if you get the Saquon side, then I'm gonna say no. Saquon's a guy that Well, I'm trying to get my buddy to trade Saquon, but my buddy, his team's a little bit different. He's got Kamara, Brees Hall, and Jacobs and Saquon. So I've been trying to get my buddy to trade Saquon out of those 4 that he has, because he kind of needs a receiver or whatever. This is the thing, you didn't buy Saquon low. I don't mind buying him, but you got to buy him lower than this. And if you can't buy him lower than this, then you're not buying him. I don't trust the Giants offense, really. And I don't trust that he's already been hurt. So I'm not giving away Hurts though for that. There's no, you know what I mean? Like if you gave away, let's say you gave away Stroud, or no, let's say you gave away Goddard, Herbert, and let's say you gave away like Joe Burrow. I could be on board with it. But Hurts is a top 3 to 4 quarterback. I mean, I got Hurts top 4 like this week. I think I had him top 3 last week. He's a guy who's, I'm not trade. There's no way I'm trading Hurts for Saquon straight up. Which that's basically what you did. You get Hurts for Saquon, Goddard for Kittle. I like Kittle over Goddard. And then you get Stroud over Herbert. I do like Stroud a little bit better than Herbert, but obviously it just depends on what your team needs are. Should I trade Mixon and DJ Moore to get Pollard? My team is pretty balanced. Yes. If you can get Mixon, if you can give away Mixon and DJ Moore to go get Pollard, take it and run for the hills. Take it, run for the hills. Wrinkles.
Robbery in progress.
Especially if you have a really balanced team. Especially if you have a really balanced. If you're like hurting maybe at receiver, I would think twice about it. But if you're good, and really I would wait to make that trade. I'm assuming you haven't made the trade, right, Trinkles? There's no way, because DJ Moore already played. I would probably wait, because there's a chance, Trinkles, there's a chance that Pollard doesn't have the greatest week this week. I'm not saying it's going to be as bad as last week, but there's a chance that he gets like 15 points, let's say, you know, like only 15 points. I guess it could be more if it's full PPR, but if it saves it's like a half PPR league, there's a chance he only gets like 15 points, which isn't great. I mean, it's good, but it's not great. It's not like, oh my God, he went and got 40, you know? I would maybe, you know, that's what I'm saying. I would wait till like Monday or Tuesday and see how Pollard performs. Maybe you get him for cheaper, you know? If Diggs, Olave, DJ Moore, Flowers, Lockett. Yeah, bro. If you get Flowers and Lockett as your potential wide receiver 3s, you're chilling. Yeah, I would definitely do it then in a heartbeat. Who are your running backs besides Mixon? Let me know who your running backs are. All right, Brent, let's finish these running backs real quick. For these running back 3s. So this guy's on bye. And he's like irrelevant. So is Gainwell, in my opinion. Moss could kind of be over here. Roshan, obviously he played already. Khalil Herbert would have been over here. Let's just put it that way. Rashad White's over here. Or actually, Rashad White's on bye. Kenneth Walker's on bye. Charbonnet's on bye. Zeke, nobody cares. Kareem Hunt's on bye. Dylan, nobody cares. Miller, nobody cares. Gibson, I guess, would have been over here. I know Gibson had a decent day, but Gibson would have been low on this list. How he's been playing. Saquon, Mixon, Brees, Ford, Spears. Yeah, I would definitely do that, bro. I would definitely, like, yeah. So if you could get rid of Mixon and DJ Moore for Pollard, do it in a heartbeat. Do it and run. Before somebody, like, vetoes it or something, or somebody, like, calls you out on it or something and it gets revoked or something. Yeah, do it in a heartbeat. That'd be like highway robbery. Javonte's going to be, or actually Javonte's hurt. He's not playing this week. I don't have Jaleel McLaughlin on here. McLaughlin would be over here. Okay, guys, I don't have his tag made up. Eckler's on bye. Kelly's on bye. Algier will be over here. Warren is obviously over here as well. Let's just throw P Ryan over. Let's just say this is McLaughlin instead of P Ryan. Okay, guys? Let's just pretend this is McLaughlin. These would be your... Right, Moss is really gone like at the bottom of the barrel of this with JT coming back, so... Thanks. Yeah, you're welcome, man. Let's go receivers real quick. Our receivers. Number 1 this week is going to be Tyreek Hill. Just a juicy matchup against a horrible secondary, young secondary, and the Giants. JJ against my Chiefs, number 2. Fire him up. We got a shootout type of game here. Take the over in that game, by the way, against the Chiefs. So JJ number 2, these are guys that, like, I'm just gonna go. I'm not really gonna talk too much about these guys. You guys know, for the most part, why these guys are over here. Like, if you own them, there's a change because I did have St. Brown at like 8. He's obviously not playing now, so we're gonna have to adjust a little bit. So let's just move St. Brown over here for now. Diggs number 3. Devontae Adams is my number 4 guy this week. We got CeeDee Lamb is 6th. Smith is, where do I have Smith at? I have Smith at 10. Need to find AJ Brown. There is AJ Brown is 5 this week. Pretty good matchup here, like I said, against the Rams. Young secondary, young defense, shootout type of game, 50.5 total points. Smith and AJ Brown, you're firing up if you have both of these guys. I think Smith has a little bit of a bounce. I'm hoping. I'm a Smith owner. So we need a little bit of a bounce back game here against the Rams. Hopefully teams will start like paying attention to AJ Brown a little bit more. I don't know, dude. Like either that or hopefully Hurts starts throwing the ball to my guy this week, you know. I'd like him to throw it to my guy this week too, you know. Number 7 this week is Chase. Whenever I find him, I don't know where he's at. He's buried underneath here somewhere. Yeah. Where you at, Chase? See Higgins. There he is. There's Chase. Chase number 7. It is a decent matchup against a Arizona defense that is gettable. So I don't have him ranked quite as high. I don't even think I have him ranked as high as consensus does. Chase is number 6 consensus wise. I have him ranked 7th. Number 8 is going to be Waddle. This is going to surprise a lot of you guys, I think. Waddle's number 8. This is an explosion type of week for Waddle, in my opinion. I do kind of worry about ranking Hill right here at 1 just because I have Waddle so high, and I do think Waddle gets right in this game. I think if you own this guy and you've been obviously down on him because the concussion, he didn't play the 1 week. Hasn't been as productive. He wasn't as productive last week. Wasn't very productive week 1. And so I think Waddle is a guy that if you have him, this is going to be a week where you don't want to like have him on your bench, I think. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe I'm not, but I think this is a get right game for Waddle in terms of fantasy. Number 9. So basically Cup's going to move right here. Cup's going to move into this spot. You know, I had Cup here, but I'm going to move him up to 9. This is where St. Brown was. So St. Brown, number 9, or St. Brown was 9. Move Cup to 9. St. Brown's just not going to be in the lineup anymore. Not going to be in the rankings because of yeah, we didn't have him in here because he's hurt. So Smith owner 2. Think we need Smith to yell at Hurts or something. Yeah, I know, bro. Like AJ Brown did week 2 or whatever it was against Minnesota. Yeah, I know, dude. I had Smith last year. I feel like he'll hit Sim. Yeah. I mean, he's already hit for us. He hit for us in that Thursday night game. Really, he did okay against New England week 1. You know, 10 targets, 7 catches. Had the touchdown. He outperformed Brown in that game too. I just wish. You know what's really been a bad thing for us, really, as Smith owners? It's not even that AJ Brown had a big week last week and that. It's just they're running the ball well, and they're able to run the ball because they're beating teams. We need Philly to start kind of like losing. If Philly could start losing some games or getting behind in some games early, maybe they get behind against the Rams this week. That would be nice because it's going to force them to throw the ball more. They're not going to lean on Swift in the running game with that great offensive line if they're winning the game. They're just going to run the ball, you know? Like, that's kind of why we got screwed the way that we did against, I wouldn't even say we got screwed against Minnesota because Smith had a really good game against Minnesota, but if he didn't catch those 2 deep balls, we would have got screwed as a Smith owner because they were just running the ball down their throats. So, number 11 is going to be Puka. Puka is going to be 11. I'm hesitant to throw Puka way down the rankings until we see officially what this offense looks like with Kupp and Puka on the field at the same time. So I do think Puka is going to take a little bit of a blow. He's not going to be irrelevant. He's still going to be a top 20 receiver the rest of the year, but I'm just going to be hesitant to see what he does. You know what I mean? And so I'm not going to move him way down the list. I do think Kupp's going to have a better week than him this week, though. Swift's been popping off. Yeah. I'm in negotiation and it seems close. What about Mixon and Olave for Pollard? Mixon and Olave for Pollard. You have... So that means you'd have Diggs, Lockett, Flowers, DJ Moore. Your running backs would be Saquon. Bro, I don't want to tell you. You do need to get this because I don't like Saquon or Mixon right now. Brees is fine. Ford and Spears are fine. I would say do that probably. I would say do it. I like Olave, but you're moving in the Pollard, bro. People don't understand how good Pollard is. Pollard's probably the best running back in fantasy. If he just starts, you know what I mean? If he just starts scoring touchdowns, he'll be the best fantasy. Pollard's just off to a little bit of a rough start, but he's getting like all the metrics are there. Red zone touches. He leads the league in red zone touches. It's not even close, guys. Like, it's not even close. He's gonna get passing work. He's got the whole backfield to himself. He's had some tough matchups, okay? That's why he hasn't been quite as good as, you know what I mean? This is why you're able to buy Pollard at a price tag that really... I mean, in my league, dude, I can't even get Pollard. I could try to sell, I couldn't sell Olave and Brees Hall to get Pollard in my league. Because, I mean, I have a bunch of five-star clingers, or stage 5 clingers in my league, you know, to their players. But, I mean, Pollard is... There's not, let's just put it this way, guys. There's not very many weeks left where you're going to be able to get Pollard on the low. Okay? I mean, 14 carries week 1, had 21.2 points in my half PPR league, had 2 touchdowns against the Giants. Really could have been more if they didn't blow him out. He went and played 64% of the snaps again against the Jets week 2. 25 carries. 8 targets, 7 catches. He hasn't been, but that's against the Jets, guys. The Jets have a good defense. The fact that he didn't get over 100 yards rushing, he only had 37 yards receiving on 7 catches. I would factor that to be more so against a good Jets defense. Arizona, they ran the ball with him 23 times for 122. Didn't really caught 3 balls and -1 yards. That was just a weird game against Arizona. I don't really know what to kind of blame on that. I mean, he went it for over 100. He didn't get in the end zone either, you know what I mean? And then New England, you know, I would say kind of got a little bit game scripted out of that, and because they blew him out, and you know, it's kind of similar to the Giants game, and then he just didn't get in the end zone. So, and then the Niners have a good defense here, so he's got the Niners this week. I think he'll be okay. I don't think he's gonna lay anything less than 10 points this week. But does he go get 20, 25? Maybe, maybe not. then he's got the Chargers week 6, and then they have bye. But then after the bye, they got the Rams, Philly, the Giants again, Carolina, Washington, Seattle has a bad defense. I think it gets better for him after the bye. So I like Olave, but man, would I trade Olave and Mixon for Pollard? If I had your team, I think I would. Like, I don't know if I would have done it in my league just because I don't have the receivers that you have. I only have like Smith and Olave and Addison. Those are like the only 3 receivers that I have that are like any good. I got Tutu Atwell as well, but I don't think Tutu Atwell is going to be very good going forward with Cup being back. So, but if I had Mixon and Olave on my team. I don't have Mixon on my team anymore because I moved into Kyron Williams, but if I had the receiver depth that you had with those 2 guys, which I did own those 2 guys, I probably would have done it. Because you're moving into a top 5 running back, in my opinion. So, and you know, there's only so many running backs out there that are Pollard, CMC, Bijan, and you could maybe even throw Kyron into this category to a degree, that are getting like all this, you know, and Josh Jacobs, who are getting all the snaps, have all the work, and they're on a pretty productive offense for the most part. So, all right, 12 is going to be Chris Olave. Chris Olave is moving in here at 12. This could be a little bit too high for him. Could be a little bit too high for Olave, but I just see him he's got to get in the end zone eventually, and I think this is the week he gets in the end zone. And I think he could catch a bomb here. No Christian Gonzalez helps. Christian Gonzalez, the rookie out of Oregon, he's actually been playing pretty well. You got no Matthew Judon. A little bit of a depleted defense, which is the strong point of this team for Bill Belichick. So give me Olave here. I feel like they got to get him the ball a little bit more this week after last week. I think Card knows that too. So give me Olave here at 12. Maybe he could be down here like 14 or 15, but I'm going to have him here at 12. 13 is going to be Brandon Ayuk. Where is Brandon Ayuk at? Here he is. Brandon Ayuk, 13. This is a guy I told you guys to go buy this guy low after the concussion week or after the injury week or whatever. I don't think it was concussion. It was a shoulder or whatever. He missed the Thursday night game, right? Debo went off the Thursday night game. That was the week I was telling you guys to go get Ayuk low. I don't know if you guys did or not. This guy's a stud, though. This guy's a stud. We should have been higher on this guy in the offseason, I'm not going to lie. But it's going to be tough to go get this guy low now after last week, obviously. But Ayuk 13 here. Good spot here against Dallas. I think he's one of the better route runners in the game at receiver. So he's just been progressing each year that he's been in the league. Rate my dynasty trade: Javonte, Higgins, Dotson, and Miles Sanders for Brees, Godwin, 2024, second and third. Which side are you on, Matt? Like, which side are you getting? Javonte, Higgins, Dotson, Miles Sanders for Brees, Godwin. If you're getting the Brees side, I like it. I like the Brees side quite a bit. You're gonna have to make that 2024 second round pick pretty good though, and the third round pick pretty good. You're on the Brees side, okay? Yeah, I would want the Brees side in Dynasty. Yeah, because Brees is like, you know, like if I was a Brees owner, I wouldn't give up Brees for all 4 of those guys combined without Godwin and the picks. That's just me though. Now, I'm super high on Brees though. But that's good for you, man. I like that for you. I like getting the Brees side, especially in Dynasty. Wide receiver 14 is going to be Garrett Wilson this week. A little bit of a bounce back spot here, I think, against Denver's defense. I'm putting a lot of faith in Zach Wilson, but I do think he does start to play a little bit better, guys. I feel like he has to here. He has to play good here. Denver's defense is atrocious. It's terrible. So, and I think Breece Hall gets going, and I think that's going to help him as well. Look, Breece and Zach, their play is going to complement each other, guys. So, you guys have noticed, like I said, when Zach Wilson plays pretty well, like he did last week against my Chiefs, he played pretty, not the greatest, but decent in week 1. Breece had good games in those games, and now you got a Breece Hall that's not on a snap count. So we should be okay. We should be okay here. I think Wilson is the guy you have to start as your wide receiver 2 this week, especially if you've got Lockett and some of those guys on bye this week. You know, Metcalf on bye. So Garrett Wilson's going to be a guy you're locking into your lineups this week, unless you have something crazy, unless you have a bunch of crazy good players. Hard to give up Higgins, but I had a lot of depth with Amon-Ra, Olave, JSN, Palmer, Judy, and now Godwin. Yeah, Amon-Ra's not going to play this week. That kind of sucks for you. You're going to have to start like Olave. You're going to have to start Olave, Judy, and probably, well, I don't know who you're going to start now. You're going to have to start Olave and Judy, because JSN and I'm assuming that's Josh Palmer and Godwin, they're all on bye. So you might have to be rolling 3 running backs this week, bro. One at your flex. You're gonna have to roll Godwin and Olave at receiver because you got all those guys on bye. Wide receiver 15. Wide receiver 15. This week ain't gonna be great. Yeah, well, you never know, man. Breece might go nuts for you. I'm hoping nuts. Like Breece has to go get us like a 20-25 bomb and just go crazy this week. Has to. If he doesn't, dude, I'm gonna be disappointed. I mean, we look at the Denver's defense. They gave up all those points to Achane and Mostert. Khalil Herbert ran all over them last week. It's just, I'm going to be super disappointed if Breece doesn't perform just as good as those guys, you know what I mean? So he's got to have, and we got to see him get in the end zone. He hasn't even gotten in the end zone yet. So we need a Breece Hall touchdown this week as well. Receiving or rushing, I don't care. One of each would be ideal, obviously. Wide receiver 15. It's going to be Debo. Debo usually plays pretty well against the Cowboys. I think Ayuk playing as well as he's playing is going to hurt Debo a little bit, but I think they both could have solid outings here against Dallas. We'll see, man. I do think the Niners are going to win this game. The Cowboys, with no Trayvon Diggs, man, I think it hurts them in like a game like this. When you got a good, really good team, probably the best team in the league. You have a decent quarterback that's playing really, really well, and he's got these weapons. So one of these weapons in either Debo or Ayuk, I think is going to be, you know, it's basically whoever Stephon Gilmore's not covering. I think it's going to have a decent day. So, but I think they're going to use Samuel in the running game. I know he got like 1 carry last week, and that was it. No targets, no receptions. They're going to use him this week, though. I'll be shocked if he has another game like he did last week. So give me Debo here inside the wide receiver 2 category. A little bit of a bounce back spot. Number 16 is Ridley. Calvin Ridley is my receiver number 16 this week. Bounce back week for him. I'm hoping. No Tre'Davious White, which helps him. I do worry about the offensive line and giving Trevor Lawrence time to throw, which obviously if he doesn't have much time to throw, it's going to be, it's not, it doesn't only just affect Lawrence, it affects his receivers as well. I just feel like he's got to start performing better and getting more targets, you know what I mean, in fantasy. He's got, like, he had 2 targets last week, 2 catches for 30 yards and a touchdown. I know AJ Terrell was covering him, but I thought he would get more opportunities, to be honest. So I think he gets more opportunities here. We'll see if he gets in the end zone or not. He's a guy going forward, though. You still have to. He's still your wide receiver 2. He's still one of your 2 receivers that you're starting, regardless. So number 17, I had DJ Moore in this spot. Obviously, DJ Moore. Where the heck is DJ Moore at? There he is. I had DJ Moore
or I would have had him ranked higher, obviously, if we would have known he was going to go get like 60 points. Like I said, I'm not changing. I had these rankings on Wednesday. I'm not changing them just because of the way that they performed, right? You know I had Justin Fields at quarterback 8. He's probably at quarterback 1, 2, or 3 this week based off how he performed. But I'm not changing my rankings just because of how they performed on Thursday night. I had these rankings on Wednesday, and this is just what they are. If you started him, congratulations. I had a guy in my league who had Fields and Hurts, or Fields and DJ Moore. So he had both of them on their team. Like, this guy's already got like an 88-point lead on everybody. I'll show you guys. If you guys follow me over on TikTok, my TikTok is XWayneSoloX. I actually made a bunch of TikToks about this today. Or earlier today, yesterday. But this guy, we have a guy in our league. This guy right here, he got like 35 out of Fields, and then he got 53 out of DJ Moore. The reason why he got some, this is half PPR, so he didn't get 60 because of half PPR. And like the way it works is, this is the way the scoring is. So he had a 200-yard receiving game, so that's 4 points for that, because it's 2 points if he gets 100 receiving yards. It's an extra 2 points. It's an extra 2 more points if he gets to 200, which he got over 200. And then he gets a point apiece for a 40-yard bonus. And he also gets 2 points if it's a 40-yard touchdown catch, which he had a 56-yarder. So that's why he's got so many points. We have a little bit of bonus points in this league, but it is half PPR. So yeah, we had a guy who started both of those guys in our league, and so I was making all kinds of memes about it and TikToks about it. Like I said, if you guys want to go check out my TikToks, it's XWayneSoloX is my handle on TikTok. I try to make some funny TikToks, usually like a couple, 2 or 3 of them every single week, depending on what's going on around the world. Wide receiver 18, Terry McLaurin was my wide receiver 18 this week. Played pretty well last night, not too bad. Could have been better, but it is what it is. It is what it is. 5 catches, 49 yards. Sam Howell, as much as he threw the ball, I thought McLaurin would have a better day, but like I said, I'm not going to change these rankings once again because of the way that they performed. McLaurin was my wide receiver 18. Probably should have been a little bit lower on him, but it is what it is, man. Matt Rich says, question, would you rather have Justin Herbert or Anthony Richardson in QB1 Dynasty 4-point passing touchdown league? Probably Herbert. It's close, though. It's close because Richardson's starting to look like that dude. You know what I mean? And they're both great to have in Dynasty, but give me Herbert, bro. Give me Herbert. Like, it's close, but it's not close. You know what I mean? I would like to have both of them. Why, is somebody trying to trade you like Richardson for Herbert or something, or vice versa? Like, what would? I mean, I would rather have Herbert, bro. Give me the guy that I already know is good. You know what I mean? We already know Herbert's good. Maybe he doesn't have obviously he doesn't have the rushing upside, and he's not going to have probably the rushing touchdowns, but you're going to have the guy that's probably going to play longer in the NFL, in my opinion. And he has a cannon for an arm, and he throws the ball out. He plays for a pretty decent team that's contending, most years for at least a playoff spot. And he's got better weapons on top of it. He's got Keenan Allen, he's got Eckler, had Mike Williams. He's got better weapons to throw to, and I like that they have Kellen Moore as the offensive coordinator as well. So, but I do like Richardson. Don't get me wrong. I do like Richardson as well, but Dynasty, give me the guy that I already know is good, and that's Herbert. Richardson we know is good to a degree. He needs to obviously get better in a lot of areas of his game, but I do worry about his health to a degree. You know who Richardson kind of reminds me of? And obviously this isn't like a crazy comparison, but he kind of reminds me of Cam Newton. I could see him having a very similar career to Cam Newton, which isn't the greatest thing because that means he may not play for as long as you want him to play for. I had both, traded Herbert and Keenan and a second for Olave, Javonte, Deshaun, basically all in on Richardson. Wait, you traded Herbert, Keenan Allen, and a second round pick for Olave, Javonte, and Deshaun? Bro. You didn't trade Herbert, Keenan Allen in the second round for Olave, Javonte, and Deshaun Watson. No way. That's a lot. I know it's dynasty, but man, it's a lot. I feel like you gave up a lot in that trade, bro. Well, you're all in on Richardson. I mean, that's not a bad thing, though. So you have Deshaun. I really wanted Olave. So you have Deshaun Watson and Richardson at quarterback. I mean, at least you have Richardson. Richardson's going to be the guy going forward, probably for the rest of the year. You know, Richardson has a bye week 11. So I mean, the only time you're going to start Deshaun is probably week 11, unless Richardson ends up injured again. That's another thing I don't like. You know, I like Richardson, and I think he could be good. But he's already had a concussion and missed a game. You know what I mean? I worry about the running. He needs to like work with somebody, whether it's Cam Newton or Robert Griffin III or Michael Vick. He needs to work with somebody, get with somebody to like mentor him and just help him kind of be like a quarterback's coach for him. I know he's got a quarterback's coach on the team, but he needs to have another guy. I feel like that was a former player that had the same kind of similar play style as him, where they run, you know, they use their legs outside the pocket. They need to coach him up to like, hey, you need to know when to get down, and you need to know when it's okay to lay your body on the line. Because I don't think he knows that yet. And I worry about him just getting injured and taking hits that he shouldn't be taking. You know, I don't know if he's fully grasped the concept that he's not in college anymore. Like, he's playing against dudes that are trying to take his head off, and against dudes that are faster, quicker, more athletic. This isn't Florida, bro. You're not playing at Florida anymore, you know. And I know the SEC is obviously the better conference of college football, but it ain't the NFL, bro. The NFL is everybody's good at every position. They're all fast. They you know what I mean? They're all looking to take your freaking head off, dude. Like, he's got to know when to get down and when not to, you know? I don't think he knows that quite yet. All right, number 19 is Michael Pittman Jr. As soon as I find this guy, here he is. Pittman here, decent matchup against a Tennessee secondary that's a little bit depleted, not quite as good. Number 20, Nico. Find Nico. We're moving Nico over here. Nico's going to be a guy who's probably top 24 guy the rest of the way. He really top 15 for the most part. I know he's top 10 in my league right now as far as receiver rankings go based off fantasy points, but not the greatest matchup here. He's got AJ Terrell. We'll see what AJ Terrell does, you know, how much he locks him down, if he does or not, but it's not as great of a matchup as it was last week against a bad Steelers secondary. But either way, dude, he's a guy you got to start, I think, moving forward for the most part. I got Richardson for Danny Dimes in a second, week 3. Yeah, that's like highway robbery, bro. That was highway robbery.
Robbery in progress.
All right, number 21, receiver number 21, T. Higgins here against the I think he's not injured, right? He is gonna play, right? Let's double check. I don't even know. He's questionable. Ribs questionable. I'm gonna say, look, if he plays, he's right in this area. If he doesn't play, let's just say he doesn't play, okay? Let's say he doesn't play. Let's say he's in this category with St. Brown and he doesn't play. Give me Addison here week 21 here. Addison bounce back spot. I know he had a nothing burger last week. I know I have him on my team. Luckily I didn't start him last week, thank goodness. I thought about it because I traded for him and Kyron Williams, got rid of Mixon and Jerome Ford. I'm glad I did not start him at the flex last week. I would have been so mad. But I think this is a get back spot, bounce back spot, get right. Jordan Addison here. I think they get him the ball. We had a shootout game here against my Chiefs. More than likely they're going to get down. They'll probably get down, or it'll be a back and forth game. Either way, there's going to be a lot of passing in this game, especially from the Minnesota side, especially if they get down. Addison has to be involved here after last week. I just don't understand how he's not. So Addison, wide receiver 21. Fire him, like he's in my flex this week. Let me go to my team real quick for you guys. This is my team this week in the auction league. Like I said, we got Kyron and Brees locked in. Olave, Smith, Ertz. We picked up Ertz at tight end this week. I'm gonna start Ertz over Kincaid. I just don't know what to do with Kincaid right now, guys. They're just not throwing him the ball. They're not throwing him the ball. So we're gonna wait on Kincaid. We're gonna let him sit on the bench and watch from the sidelines this week. But we're firing up Addison at the flex. So yeah, we got Stroud on the bench. We got Lamar at quarterback, so we can't really start Stroud. I don't think this is the week to start Stroud anyways against Atlanta. Give me Lamar against a bad Pittsburgh defense that Stroud just played. So I feel pretty good about our team. We got Moody. We picked up Baltimore's defense. We dropped Philly. We dropped Philly's defense. It is what it is. But we might try to pick him up again for next week. But I like Baltimore's matchup here this week against Pittsburgh. So we'll see, man. It's gonna be tough though to beat this guy that's already like 88 points with only 2 players, right? Basically 88 points. So who did this guy have this week? Oh, Washington's defense. Whoops. This guy had Komet. Kings over had Brian Robinson. All right. So back to our wide receivers. Wide receiver 22. I got like I said, Higgins could be in this range, obviously, if he plays. Just okay, so don't cook me if he plays and he plays good and I didn't have, you know what I mean? He's in this category if he plays. So just know that, okay? Reynolds is going to be 23. Let me move all these guys out of the way. Reynolds is going to be 23 with St. Brown out. 22 is going to be Jacoby Myers. And 24 is going to be, this guy's on bye. Nope. This guy at. Guy. $24, Marquise Brown. There he is. Marquise Brown. Like I said, you got Arizona who throws the ball a ton here. Marquise Brown's been pretty solid the last few weeks, so I have to start Stroud this week. Herbert's on bye. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, man. I got Stroud starting in my other league right now. Obviously, and I had Fields and Stroud on the same team, and I went with Stroud this week, and obviously I don't feel very good about it, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. I always have like one of these a week, but I don't mind Stroud. Stroud is still, I think, a top 12 quarterback this week. I got him ranked 11th this week. Not the greatest matchup, because if Atlanta gets up early, they could run the ball a ton, which is what they do, and it could drain clock. But we'll see, man. Let's just hope that I'm wrong about the game script. Marquise Brown, though, 24. Reynolds was outside of the 24. He's moved up since St. Brown is out. So let's go wide receiver 3s here. I'm going to move these guys that are up here for now or whatever. All right, so wide receiver 3s, Dell. Dell is going to be one of the guys that I would consider putting in the flex depending on your roster. Flowers is also in this category, so is Kirk. Where's Gabe Davis is one of these guys. 2-2, I'm going to say he's down the list a little bit. Thielen, also one of those guys this week. Judy, Sutton, Mims. Once again, all three. These guys are tough to predict. These three guys are all kind of in this area, though. And if you have multiple of these guys, I really kind of feel bad for you. Watson's also in this area. Watson should probably be a little bit higher. Let's move Watson up here. Put Kirk and Dell. Let's move Theo. I'm going to try to put these guys in the best order I can. Let's go Flowers, then Gabe Davis. And the 3 Denver guys. So bye. Pickens is on this list as well. I don't know if I trust Pickens this week. I know Pickett says he's going to play, but, you know, Dotson would have been on this list. He didn't play the greatest, so obviously I'm tracking that, guys. I don't know what to say about Dotson, dude. They gotta get this guy the ball. They have to start getting this guy the ball. I think Dotson actually didn't play too bad late in that game. They're not getting in the ball, dude. They're throwing it to De'Ami Brown and Thomas and all these guys that nobody owns on their fantasy team, bro. Like they didn't even get McLaurin the ball, and I have McLaurin ranked 18th this week. You know what I mean? I don't know what they're doing in Washington, bro. I thought Hal would be a good quarterback for us, fantasy-wise, for Dotson owners and even McLaurin owners. And he's been okay for McLaurin for the most part, but you know, we get 388 passing yards, and you got 49 of it that goes to McLaurin, and you got 30 of it that goes to Dotson. I just don't understand it. I don't understand what's going on. Curtis Samuel's involved a little bit more than what we would like. Burks is also obviously in this category, but he's like way down on this list. Zay Jones, I don't know, is Zay Jones going to play? I haven't really checked the injury report. Looks like he's questionable again. He's going to be over here, but you're probably not going to play him, even if he does play. Been out a couple weeks. Tough matchup here. Yeah. The Chiefs players, they're also in this category until we see something from them. Sky Moore, Tony. Tony's like, we need to get like an island for Tony, if that's cool. Higgins, once again, he'll be up here. St. Brown, not going to play. Tutu, not worried about him. London can be over here in this category. Put him down here. Really, the rest of these guys are either on bye or are just irrelevant for the most part. Cooks, I guess you can put over here, but I don't think anybody's rushing to the window to start Cooks, and I guess we could put D-Hop up here. But I'm not really rushing to start D-Hop either. All these other guys, the Giants guys, don't care about. Everybody else is pretty much on bye or hurt. So those are your receiver rankings for week number 5. If you guys have questions about these guys in particular, all of these guys that are in the wide receiver 3 category, let me know. Let me know what you have as far as your flex options. I got to know the running backs that you have that you're thinking about maybe starting in place of these receivers, or vice versa, in order for me to give you guys like a good determination on who to go with. So, but like as far as the Denver guys go, I'm probably starting Mims. Like Mims is the guy I would want to go with probably the most. I feel like he's going to get more of an uptick in playing, and he's a big play guy. I think Sutton has a tough matchup here. He's going to see, I think, a lot of Sauce Gardner this week, and I could really see Denver struggling offensively in this game. I don't think the run game is going to be very relevant at all in this game for the Broncos, so they're going to be one-dimensional. Russ is going to have to create plays and pass the ball to win that game. So, all right, let's go tight ends. Tight ends is pretty, we can go through this pretty quick here. Pretty quick. Kelsey, number 1 here. Kelsey's number 1. No surprises here. I think Hawkinson is 2, though. So we get the matchup here. These two going up against each other. This is a very good fantasy game to be a part of if you have fantasy players involved in this game. Let's go Mark Andrews here, number 3. Based off of last game, I think he has another good game here against Pittsburgh. If there's anybody that you are definitely firing up at tight end, Even if you have two good tight ends, Andrews, you're firing up over just about anybody unless you got Kelsey, probably. You could maybe debate Hawkinson too, but Andrews, you're firing him up. Laporta, number 4. Until we see otherwise, Laporta is number 4 this week. Number 5 is going to be George Kittle. George Kittle usually has pretty decent games here against the Cowboys. I do worry though, you know, maybe him having a little bit of a dud game just because of the other weapons they have on the team. But give me Kittle here. Number 6, give me, where's he at? Where is he at? Give me Zach Ertz against Cincinnati here. This is why I went and got him off the waiver wire. I like Zach Ertz this week. He's getting a lot of the targets. Dobbs likes to throw the ball to him. I'm a little bit higher on Ertz, obviously, than consensus is this week. Just so you guys know. I hesitate to do this, but Waller, I have him at 7. I almost want to move him down to 8, though. I'm going to keep him here at 7, I guess. We'll see if he bounces back, bro. I know you guys have Waller. You guys are just hoping and praying that he has a good week, but you got to continue to fire this guy up if you have him, and hopefully Barkley coming back just opens up the offense a little bit, and Daniel Jones starts getting him the ball. I know it's hard to trust Daniel Jones right now at this point, and you know, it's tough to trust Waller. If you have one of these other guys, I would start him over Waller. I really would, and I would really consider maybe some of these guys I have at 8, 9, and 10. 8's going to be Evan Ingram this week. I think look, Evan Ingram's been pretty solid the first 4 weeks. I don't see why that's going to change this week. I know Buffalo's defense is pretty good, but I think he's got a set amount of targets that come his way just about every week, and he's going to continue to get them. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you got to fire him up. Where's Ferguson? Ferguson's number 9 this week here against Dallas. Fire Ferguson up if you have him. Ferguson, like, this is a guy I'm talking about that I would potentially start over Waller. And I know that sounds crazy, but say you have Ferguson and Waller, I'm not gonna make fun of you if you start Ferguson over Waller. So just so you guys know, I mean, I think Ferguson's a solid option here. He's been getting a lot of volume in the passing game. He just hasn't really fallen in the end zone. He's got 1 touchdown, but he hasn't put the yards and the receptions with the touchdowns together yet. This could be a week that he does that. Number 10, I had Cole Kmet. Hopefully you started him. He had a pretty decent day last night. 15 points, I think, half PPR roughly. A little bit more full PPR. So hopefully you fired up Kmet the other night. Kmet was my tight end 10. Number 11 was, where's he at? I gotta find this guy. Where's he at? Dallas Goedert. Yeah, it's Dallas Goedert. That's right. Dallas Goedert was number 11. It's gonna be tough to fire. This guy's in the same boat as Waller, man. It's just tough to fire these guys up. I know they've been disappointing this year, but it's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be tough not to start this guy if you paid for him, or if you drafted him somewhat high and you own this guy. Unless you own somebody like a Laporta behind him or something, or a Ferguson behind him. If you don't own one of those type of guys like that behind him, I feel like you have to fire this guy up this week. We've got a high scoring game here. Maybe they start getting him the ball. Hopefully not, though, because I'm a Devontae Smith owner. But I don't know. I just don't. I thought maybe that they could feed all 3 of these guys to a degree in most of these games that they're playing, but it's just not looking like it's going to be like that. Somebody's going to end up somebody's going to end up missing out, and so far it's been Goddard. You think about AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Goddard, then you factor Swift into the equation, running the ball as well, and it's been like the odd man out has been Goddard. So it is what it is, man. It sucks if you own him. There's not a lot, obviously, we can do about it, but hopefully he falls into the end zone for his owners this week if you own him. I'm kind of glad I don't own him, so I'm glad I got I mean, I have Kincaid for the most part. I have Ferguson in the other league, and then I have you know, Kincaid with Ertz, with Zach Ertz in the auction league. So Laporta, obviously, if you guys drafted Laporta, this guy is, he might have been one of the best value picks of the draft. So tight end 12 this week is going to be Tyler Higbee. Yes, if you guys are noticing a lot of things here, a lot of these guys are playing each other. So like Higbee, Goddard are playing each other. You get Ferguson, Kittle playing each other. Kelsey, Hawkinson playing each other this week. So it's kind of the way it's going. Tight end 13, Dalton Kincaid. He's once again in this tight end 2 category like he was last week. And I'm moving off of him, man. I'm moving off of him. I'm going to go with Ertz this week. I got to see it, man. I got to see it, man. I got to see it first from Kincaid before I can keep firing him up. I fired him up last week. I'm kind of glad I did. I fired him up over, I think Freiermuth was who I had as my second guy. Obviously, I dropped Freiermuth, or I put him on the IR or whatever. But, Kincaid's a guy that I like. I want to hang on to this guy. I don't want you guys to go dropping this guy because, Logan Thomas, he's been getting a good portion of the targets, been decent. Yeah, I don't have him up here, bro. I thought for some reason Cole Turner was going to be the guy who's getting most of the work, but they've been using Logan Thomas quite a bit. Logan Thomas is a tight end 2. He's in this category somewhere for this week. I didn't have him inside the top 24 this week. I think I had him like 25th or 26th, but I just don't have him up here because I hadn't gotten around to putting his name on here. So, but he's been the guy that you know, Logan Thomas has been the guy that Sam Howell was going to quite a bit last night. So, wasn't really great this year until last night, until a couple nights ago, though. I mean, he's been getting a lot of the snap percentages, though. He had 9 catches for 77 yards and a touchdown. He did score a touchdown week 2, but, you know, just 9 points off of a touchdown, only 2 catches. Not much against Arizona. Didn't play against Buffalo. Yeah, I just hadn't been too high on Logan Thomas, but he should be inside this top 24 list. I didn't have him inside of it this week, though. Going back to the Kincaid, man, he's just got to... We got to see it from Kincaid, man. I'm not saying drop him. Don't drop this guy, especially if it's Dynasty, obviously. But even in redraft, don't drop this guy. If you have a better option, and what I mean by a better option, I mean anybody that is right here. Anybody that is right here inside the top 12, you have to, you know, any of these guys, you have to put over him. You can make a case for Kincaid over Goddard maybe this week if you don't trust Goddard, or Kincaid over Waller if you own both of those guys. You don't trust Waller, or even Zach. You know, if you have Zach Ertz and Kincaid like I do, and you don't trust Zach Ertz, maybe, I don't know. I feel like all these other guys you can't really make a case for. I feel like you have to start them over Kincaid until we see it, man. I don't trust Josh Allen to get him the ball. They throw it to Diggs. They throw it to Diggs. Then Josh Allen runs. Then he dumps it off to Cook. There's so many weapons on the team that he's getting, you know, and then they got Dawson Knox out there, and they're throwing he's throwing it to Dawson Knox. You know, I don't know. It's really, I don't even think it's as much as Josh Allen not getting him the ball. It's just they're not scheming him properly, I feel like, to get him open and the run plays where he's the first read and this and that, you know. So because they got Stephon Diggs on the team. So like I said, until, you know, maybe like I say, maybe Kincaid's a guy that we gotta wait on for an injury, or we have to wait on for, like, maybe say after the bye week, where they actually start to get him more and more involved, you know. So he's just not involved in the red zone. It's the problem. He's not getting any of the touchdowns in the red zone, and he's a guy right now who is touchdown dependent. It's as sad as it is to say, he's just touchdown dependent. And a lot of these tight ends are touchdown dependent, but certain guys, you know, there's certain guys who aren't. Obviously, these top 4 guys aren't touchdown dependent. Really, Kittle's not either. Really, I don't think Ertz is either, because Ertz is getting a lot of targets and a lot of catches. But the rest of these guys are kind of touchdown dependent. Kincaid, we thought would not be because of how good of a, he's really a receiver that plays tight end, and he can make guys miss in the open field and everything. So, but they just haven't been getting him the ball much. So, going forward, he's the tight end 2 until we see otherwise. If you have these other guys, like I said, you probably start him over Kincaid this week. Kind of want to grab Kincaid to back up Waller. Yeah, if I had Waller, I would make sure I had another tight end to back him up, just in case everything just falls apart like it kind of is right now in New York. Basically falling apart right in front of your eyes. Tight end 14. Tight end 14 is going to be Hunter Henry. You know, it's not the greatest matchup against a Saints defense with a quarterback problem, but you know, what else are we going to do? You know what I mean? Well, we can't really rank this guy much further down the list. He was tight end 1 and I think tight end 2 the first 2 weeks. Scored touchdowns. He's highly involved in the offense. Really, as far as the receivers go, and then him as a tight end, and obviously Gesicki as a tight end, I trust him more than just about anybody else on the offense right now in New England. That maybe includes Ramondre Stevenson. So, Kyle Pitts will be number 15 this week. Number 15 this week is going to be Kyle Pitts. It's tough to be a Kyle Pitts owner. Yeah, I'm telling you guys, you know, I don't have much faith in him producing on a week-to-week basis with how they run that offense there in Atlanta. So he's definitely touchdown dependent for sure. Taysom Hill this week, 16. You know, it's weird. I don't even know if you can start Taysom Hill at tight end anymore. I know he's listed as a quarterback on Best Ball on the Underdog site now. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he's still a tight. He's still a tight end in my league, in my sleeper league, and he's still a tight end in my Flea Flicker league. I don't know if he is on ESPN, and I don't know if they've changed his position or anything. But if he's still a tight end, which he should be, tight end 16 this week here against New England, there's always a chance each week that they're going to run him, you know, inside the 5-yard line. So off of a QB snap. So Taysom Hill here, 16. There's like I said, we're still waiting. I think he's going to have another week like he did last year and the year before, where he had a week where he went and got you like 30 or 40 points. I think there's still one of those in the cards for him. Jonnu getting more love than Pitts. Yeah, I know. I'm not ranking Jonnu inside the top 25 though. I don't even have him on here. Like I know he is though. I know he is. I don't want a tight end from that team at all. I don't want a tight end that plays for the Atlanta Falcons at all. So I didn't even bid on this guy when we were bidding in the auction league. I didn't even bid on him because I knew this was going to happen, dude. I knew they were going to run the ball, continue to not get him the ball. Ritter was not going to be good. Ritter stares down receivers. He keeps throwing picks because he can't shift the safeties with his eyes. He stares guys down. I mean, it was bad. I watched like before I went live before lock on Sunday morning, guys, like 11 o'clock Eastern or 11 o'clock Central Time. I watched that pretty much the whole game in London between the Jaguars and the Falcons. It was terrible. I watched the whole. I was like, what is this guy doing? I said, this guy just stares guys down. He just keeps throwing like these guys. I mean, I know, like they're all really good players out of college in the NFL, but especially in the NFL, dude. If you stare guys down, you are gonna get picked. They will read your eyes and they will read what you're doing, and they will put themselves, you know, the safeties will put themselves in position to jump routes. And that's exactly what they were doing. That's exactly what he should have threw another one that was dry. He threw a deep ball. He underthrew a deep ball to a wide open, I think it was Mac Hollins. Wide open Mac Hollins. He underthrew it, and that ball should have been picked. And the guy dropped it. I think the guy who had the pick six was the same guy who dropped the one that was the deep ball. But it's like, you stare guys down. What do you think's gonna happen, bro? This isn't Cincinnati. This isn't college football, bro. You're gonna get picked off throw after throw if you keep staring, if you keep telegraphing what you're gonna do. And so I wouldn't be shocked if they move on from Ritter here pretty soon. If Ritter has another bad game this week, you can bet your ass you're going to see Taylor Heineke probably step in at some point. So, which I don't think is the answer, but what are you going to do? You know, what are you going to do? Those are the two guys you have under contract on the roster. What are you going to do? So, tight end 17. Let's go back to our ranking. Tight end 17, Luke Musgrave. I think he's questionable. I know he had a concussion. He may or may not play this game. It seems like a lot of guys that get concussions and they leave the game with a concussion from the week prior, it seems like they don't play the week after, but he does have extra time since it was a Thursday night game. So he is listed here as questionable. Says he's been in practice back-to-back days, so he should be okay to go here. I know I had him ranked higher last week. The concussion obviously hurts, dude. I don't know what else to tell you guys other than if your guy has any kind of concussion-like symptoms, or if he gets looked at for a concussion in the middle of the game, you can pretty much count him on not playing the rest of the game. The NFL's pretty much moved on with a system where if there's like any sort of concussion symptoms, you know, related symptoms or whatever of a concussion in a game, that player's pretty much coming out for the rest of the game. After what happened at Tua last year, that's pretty much the protocol now. So if one of your guys, like a tight end like Musgrave last week, or if it was Anthony Richardson in week 2 or whatever, I think it was week 2 or whatever, week 2 or week 3, right, if I'm not mistaken, it was week 2, right? Richardson had the concussion or whatever against the Texans, and then he self-reported, left, didn't come back, and then he didn't play week 3. You can pretty much bank on that happening from here on out. And if it happens to your guy in fantasy, bro, I don't know what else to say to you guys other than there's just nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't predict it. And it's just an unfortunate situation for your player in fantasy and for your roster. And that's just the way it is, man. That's just the way it's going to be moving forward. The NFL's not taking any more chances with like what happened to Tua last year. And so if these guys have a concussion in the middle of the game, like if they are being checked out in the medical tent for a concussion, you can pretty much count on them not to come back into the game. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. The NFL's not taking any more chances. So hopefully we get no concussion from Musgrave this week. I do like him here Monday night. I think as long as he doesn't get a concussion, obviously, or get hurt, I think Musgrave is a good tight end, though, still to maybe potentially fire up depending on what your options are. Tight end number 18 is going to be Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz here. These are guys in a deeper league, maybe you're starting, but for the most part, 18 through 24, you know, it really depends on your roster, man. Maybe give him a shot over like a Waller or a Goddard, especially like a Goddard, maybe, if you don't trust it. If it's me, though, I'm going to go Goddard or Waller probably over the rest of these guys that I'm going to list up here. Tight end number 19 is going to be Chig Okonkwo here against Indianapolis. I feel like Chig's getting better, and he's going to continue to get better as the year goes on, but he's not really a guy I'm rushing to start until I see it. You know, I have to see it first. So, A. Dalton's on bye. He's on bye. This guy's on bye. Let's get all the guys that are on bye out of the way. He's on bye. Who else is on bye here? That's it. Durham Smythe's going to be 20 here, just because it's a high-power offense here. It's tough to know when he's going to produce and when he's not going to produce, but decent matchup against the Giants defense, and you know, it's just tough with all the weapons that they have. It's tough to trust whether or not he's going to get targets and he's going to get in the end zone. There's always a chance, though, that he's got end zone targets coming his way. You know what I mean? So Durham Smythe, 20. Number 21, Granson for the Colts here. I think Granson's a guy to kind of look out for. If this offense really starts clicking more so, Granson's really kind of a big part of this offense. I think he could be. So I like this guy. It's just, you know, we need the offense to be a little bit more productive. We need to see a little bit more targets. He had 6 targets week 1, 4, and then 5 last week. Hasn't he's fallen in the end zone week 2 against Houston, but the yardage hasn't been there. I feel like they could start getting him the ball a little bit more. He had 12 yards a catch last week, only on 2 catches, but if they just get him more and more involved, I like Granson actually moving forward. He could move into like 16, 15, 14 spot here if they just start kind of getting him involved. I don't know if he'll ever get to tight end 1 category, but there's always a chance, obviously. They just got to get him involved a little bit more, you know. 22, first. Tough to trust this guy right now with the way Bryce Young is playing, but I still feel like Hurst he's a tight end 2 in my opinion, and so, you know, this is where he's at. You're not probably starting this guy until you see something from him, but this is where he's at. Tight end 23 is Hudson. Hudson for the Bengals. Another guy that I'm just throwing in there for the most part. We got to start seeing him get more targets too, obviously, to start putting him in the lineups, but for the most part, he's been decent, but Irv Smith has been playing as well, so it looked like he was going to take the job from Irv Smith. Irv Smith has been actually out the last 2 games, but he did play the first 2 games, so I think he's kind of taken this over from Irv Smith. Irv Smith hasn't been the greatest. We'll see, man. We'll see what happens. Irv Smith's been hurt, but I do think he takes this over from Irv Smith, to be honest. And then tight end 24. Tight end 24, Troutman here for the Broncos. They got to get their tight end more involved, I feel like. I don't know if they're going to start playing Dolchich or what, but Troutman's been the guy playing all the snaps. They're just not getting this guy involved, but I do think he's in this category if they get him involved. It just, you know, we'll see if they get him involved or not. So those are the tight end rankings for week number 5. Probably should have Logan Thomas up here and a couple of other guys. Logan Thomas is a guy we probably need to have up here, and so is Jonnu Smith. He's probably a guy that we should also have up here. And maybe we could consider Knox, but I like Kincaid to be in this tight end too. Knox could be down here at the bottom, but I don't know. It doesn't really matter. If you own Knox, you're probably not playing him unless you have absolutely nobody at tight end. Let's go over the defenses real quick for the week. We'll finish this up with defenses, and then we'll do a draft right after this, and then we'll probably shut it down for the night. Defenses are pretty straightforward here. Hold on a second here. Yeah, so defenses. Number 1 defense I picked up this week, the Ravens. I don't expect Pickett. I mean, Pickett's going to play, but I don't expect him to play well at all here. This team's been struggling. Matt Canada is probably going to get fired here on the offensive, as the offensive coordinator here pretty soon, I believe. There's been a lot of people calling for his head, obviously, in Pittsburgh. Look, they played really, really well against a bad quarterback and, the rookie DTR. We could see maybe Trubisky come in this game, say if something happens to Pickett. Even if something doesn't happen to Pickett, he's got like an MCL sprain. I don't see this offense just playing any different than what they played last week. Let's just be honest. And this defense, in my opinion, is better than Houston's defense. So, and they're going to be playing from behind. So Pickett's going to be forced to try to win this game. They can't run the ball with Najee Harris. They don't really use Warren to run the ball much. They use him as kind of a receiving back. They're going to be one-dimensional, and they're going to be playing from behind. Give me Baltimore here Pretty good matchup for them. They have one of the better matchups this week. Number two is going to be the Miami Dolphins. This is probably a defense that was probably picked up by a lot of people this week. I actually picked up the Ravens in my league, if you guys can believe that. Nobody owned them. I know somebody drafted them, but then somebody dropped them, I think, after... Somebody dropped them after the... forget which game it was after. They dropped them like week 2 or whatever. And so they were sitting out there, so I snagged them. The Dolphins... Good matchup here against the Giants. The Giants, I mean, if you have a defense that's playing against Danny Dimes, like, yeah, you wanna play him this week probably. They're really just, that offensive line is horrendous offensive line. So Dolphins number 2 this week. Number 3 is gonna be Philly. Obviously I dropped Philly for the Ravens, but Philly, decent matchup here. It is a high scoring game. Maybe we see some turnovers here. Philly's front four, though, is going to keep the Rams one-dimensional, but I don't think that really matters because the Rams are pretty much one-dimensional anyway. But I do think that they have a decent matchup fantasy-wise. So as long as Danny Crimes, as long as the Eagles don't give up like 30 points, they should be okay. That's the only way I think they could really hurt you. I think they're gonna get a couple of sacks on Stafford. They could maybe get a couple of turnovers too. Fumbles are obviously hard to predict because you just don't know when a guy's gonna cough the ball up or not. And then defenses are pretty, they're pretty tough to predict as well as far as touchdowns go for defenses. So Danny Crimes, yeah, he's hey, 40 million though, right? 40 mil. Number four this week is going to be Detroit. Just, they're playing against Bryce Young, guys. That's all I can say. They're playing against Bryce Young. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. Number 5 is going to be the New Orleans Saints here. They're playing against either obviously Mac Jones or Bailey Zappi. So they had a bad week last week. The Saints defense had a bad week. I expect them to bounce back here, just similar, not the same, but pretty similar to the way Dallas did against New England last week. It's a low-scoring game, more than likely. We got a low point total here. I think it's at 38 or 39 points, the point total. So give me the Saints here. The Saints do have the better defense, really one of the better defenses in the league. I feel like they got to produce fantasy-wise this week against Mac Jones, who got benched last week. So we'll see though. Number six, it's going to be your Niners. I can't really leave these guys outside the top 6. I know they're playing the Cowboys. Cowboys have a much better offense than a lot of teams, but they've dominated the Cowboys for the most part over the last few seasons. And their defense has played decent, you know what I mean? Especially in the playoffs, they played pretty good. I do think their pass defense is a little bit suspect, but they get pressure on Dak here. If Bosa has a day, it could ruin. You could see the Cowboys get beat up pretty bad here, where like maybe the Cowboys only score like a couple of touchdowns. Maybe they hold them to about 17 points here. It would not surprise me. So, yeah, so give me the Niners here. I mean, it's the best team in the league, one of the better defenses in the league as well. Number 7, give me Buffalo. Buffalo's been playing really, really well. I should probably have them ranked a little bit higher. I just feel like Jacksonville covers at least the spread, and so I feel like, look, Jacksonville's given these guys problems in the past. Of course, the one game I think they won, was it last year they won 10-6, or was it the year before that? I'm not quite sure which year that was. It was either last year or the year before, but Jacksonville's always kind of played Buffalo pretty tough. But fantasy-wise, defensive-wise, Buffalo should still be pretty good here. You're going to fire them up if you have them, bottom line. Number 8's going to be the Jets. The Jets against Sean Payton and the Broncos. It's too bad Rodgers isn't playing in this. This was like one of those revenge games. Remember Rodgers telling Sean Payton to keep his coach's names out of his mouth, blah, blah, blah. It's, you know, it's too bad Rodgers isn't playing here. Jets though, they could have a field day here, I feel like. Number 9, I had the Commanders. This was obviously a bad pick. Hopefully you didn't start them. I had the Commanders here though. I thought they were gonna have a better matchup, pretty good matchup against the Bears. That Bears offensive line played pretty well though Thursday night, and so I think that was really, in large part, why they had so much success or whatever against the Commanders. So Washington was number 9. Hopefully you didn't start them though. I'm not changing, like I said, I'm not changing these rankings just because of the way they performed on Thursday night. So, but hopefully you didn't start Washington. Hopefully you got another team in there for your defense this week in fantasy. Number 11 is going to be Dallas. Number 10. Number 10 is going to be Dallas. Tough matchup here. I don't like them obviously as much. Last week they were really, really good. Scored a touchdown, getting after Mac Jones. They basically, you know, were the reason Mac Jones got benched. So Dallas here though, number 10. You're probably going to fire him up unless you have somebody better here. Like if you have Baltimore, the Saints, even Detroit, even I would say Miami, I might fire those guys up over Dallas this week. I know it's tough. Dallas is like the best defense in fantasy. Field day also happened Thursday. Yeah. Yes, it did. They made Fields look like Mahomes. What was that meme? I seen a meme out there. It's like, if you guys, I think it's from NFL memes or whatever on Twitter. It's like Justin Fields after the Bears got rid of Chase Claypool, or after they benched Chase Claypool, and it's like a picture of Patrick Mahomes wearing a Bears jersey. It's so funny. Basically, they're saying Fields is turning into Patrick Mahomes ever since they benched Chase Claypool. So funny. Number 11 is going to be Patriots. Once again, both of these defenses are startable, I think, this week. This is going to be an ugly game here in Foxborough. I don't think you're going to see much good offense in this game. It's a low point total for a reason. You got Carr struggling. You have Mac Jones struggling. Not a lot of weapons on the offensive side, especially for the Patriots. And it is tough, though. The Patriots don't have Judon. They don't have Gonzalez. So, but they're a well-coached team defensively. And even though they're missing those guys, I think other guys are going to step up. That's the way Bill Belichick has coached his team over the years. So, and then last but not least, number 12. Number 12 is going to be... No, not them. Where are they at? There they are. Colts. Yeah, the Colts are going to be number 12. Tennessee is like 13 though too, so like you could go either team here. I think a little bit of a defensive struggle here in this game. Both defenses are decent, and I think, you know, with the low total here, you get kind of a low scoring total. I think it's like 42.5, if I believe. Let me just double check that. I think it's a 42.5 total. It's 43 now. It's 43 now, so it's not super high. Yeah, Tennessee and or Indianapolis would be right here at 12. They're both kind of neck and neck, in my opinion. Really depends on who you think's going to win the game. Tennessee's a 2.5 point favorite, so maybe go Tennessee over Indianapolis for that reason. But I think both offenses aren't great. They're not like crazy good. I think Indianapolis has been improving in offense. You know, in the offensive category, I think Shane Steichen's been a blessing for them at head coach. Really just the way he's coaching up Anthony Richardson in that offense. They're getting Taylor back this week, but Tennessee has a really good defense, guys. And I think of how bad Tennessee's kind of been on offense minus last week, you can maybe count on Indianapolis's defense. So right here, 12 and 13, pick your poison between Tennessee, Colts. So All right, let's move into a draft real quick. If you guys are looking for another defense outside of these guys, say you don't have any of these guys, I would consider the Chiefs, but it's a high total. I would consider let's just put it honorable mentions out there. The Chiefs would be an honorable mention. These guys are on bye. We get all the teams that are on bye out of the way. They're on bye. They're on bye. They're on bye. I would also consider Carolina, and I would consider obviously Chicago could be on this list, but Chicago already played. I would probably consider the Raiders Monday night because I think the Raiders win that game, and Green Bay has a horrible offensive line right now, so they could struggle to protect Jordan Love in that game. So these three up here next to the camera, I would say you can consider. These guys are all on bye down here. So those are honorable mentions. Kansas City, Las Vegas, Carolina, as far as defenses go. Let's do a resurrection draft here on Underdog. We've only done one. I'm going to do another one, and let's just hope we get a better pick than pick 5. Let's see how much... see if there's any like rankings that have changed, any ADPs that have changed. We kind of went double hero running back last time we did a draft, so I hope they still have some of these open. I don't even know if they have any more open. They may not have any more. Oh, they do. They still have some open. All right, if you guys want to draft with us, I'm going to click on it right now. Or I'm going to click on it in 5 seconds. So click on it right now if you want to draft with me, I guess. If you want to draft, so click on it right now. All right, I just got in. Looks like it's getting ready to start. We got pick number 8. I'm gonna go over here in the left corner. We got pick number 8. That's terrible. I don't know. Is anybody else on this with me? Any of you guys on this with me? They're watching. Actually, let's go right corner. Since I got the comments over here on the left side. Need to heat my coffee back up. I'm about to go heat my coffee back up, guys. Even though I don't have much of it left here. I'll be right back. I'll go heat my coffee up real quick. All right, we're back. Nobody wants Kelsey. Doesn't look like anybody's taking Kelsey. I don't blame him, dude. Kelsey's not, he hasn't been playing very good. He definitely hasn't been playing good enough to go in the first round, that is for sure. Who did I take last time? I took Pollard in the first round, I think, last time at 5th overall. And he's still sitting there. I'm gonna take him again, guys. I have to. I'm not taking Kelsey. I don't want Chase. I would consider Devontae Adams, but I feel like I have to take Pollard here, dude. I know he hasn't played good as what people that have drafted him would have liked. Really, he's only had one bad game, and that was last week. This week doesn't even really matter. This is week 6 and on, so I gotta take Pollard right there, guys. I have to. I feel like he's just the best available player on the board. Mr. Trinkle says good pick. I think it's a good pick too. Yeah. Pollard's, I think really pick 6 through like 10 or 11. Let's just say pick 6 through 12 or 7 through 12. If Pollard's there, he's the best guy available. I really don't think it's close either. You could argue like an AJ Brown or Devontae Adams. I don't know if you could argue St. Brown, Kelsey, or Chase though, which are all 3 guys that went right after I picked Pollard. I went Pollard and Walker last time. I don't think I'm going to do that again, as much as I want to take Walker, and he's going to be there. And the reason why I want to take Pollard or Walker is because he's already had a bye week. You know, like he's already had a bye week. His bye week is this week, and this doesn't count this week for this league. It's week 6 through 14 or whatever. Ooh, Herbert coming off the board as the first quarterback. Wow. All right, so we got Olave sitting there. We got Waddle sitting there. Mahomes, Ridley, Smith, Walker, Barkley. I'm going to go. I'm going to go Calvin Ridley. I wish CeeDee Lamb would have fell to me right there, but oh well. We're going to go Ridley. The reason why I'm taking Ridley is because he's the #1 guy. Just the bottom line. He's just the #1 guy, guys. And Jacksonville's schedule is going to get easier after Buffalo here. The good news is that it doesn't count this week, because this could be a potentially bad matchup against Buffalo here. Like Waddle's the #2 guy. He's been dinged up a little bit. I do like Waddle and I do like Olave. I want the guy that is the #1 guy on his team. No, Waddle's not really the #1 guy. Olave is, but Derek Carr's pissing me off. Smith is the #2 guy. I like Smith a lot, but it's tough with AJ Brown there. They got the Colts, Saints, Steelers, Niners, Titans, Texans, Bengals, Browns, Ravens again. Or Ravens, Buccaneers, Panthers, Tennessee. They finish up with the Buccaneers, the Panthers, and Tennessee. The Jaguars do. So that's not a bad finishing up matchup right there. Those are like I guess the Ravens, Buccaneers, Panthers would be the playoff weeks. There goes Walker. That's a good pick by this guy. I'm glad that he took Walker over Barkley. It's good, but Walker's already on bye this week. He doesn't have a bye in this league format. Everybody else, like anybody that's not on a week 5 bye, you're losing a game. So Walker's going to have an extra game out of all the running backs, and so will Rashad White. So will the other guys that are on bye. I forget who's all on bye. you know, the Charger running backs like Eckler, they're gonna have an extra game. The Browns running back Jerome Ford's gonna have an extra game. DeAndre Swift, Travis Etienne. I'm hoping to get a quarterback. There's still quarterbacks on the board here. We got Mahomes on the board, Hurts, Allen. I'm hoping to get one of these 4 quarterbacks. I should get Lamar or Tua. There's no way I don't get one of those guys. Devontae Smith, Jacobs. I'm surprised Jacobs still going around 3. Do you like for the rest of the season and redraft? I traded him, so if that kind of gives you any insight to I like to trade him high, like I kind of did. Like I like to get. I mean, I wouldn't say I traded him high, but I got rid of him and Mixon. Put it this way, I basically got rid of him and Mixon, and I got Kyron Williams and Addison. That's what I moved into, and I don't regret it at all. I feel like I made the right move. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I guess we'll find out. All right, there goes 2 quarterbacks. There goes Josh Allen. There goes Taylor. We're going to be up next. We're going to get one of these quarterbacks. I think I'm going to go Lamar. Tough dude with Jalen Hurts still there, though. It's tough with Jalen Hurts still there. Oh my God, Jalen Hurts is still there. I'm gonna do it, guys. I'm taking Lamar. I'm gonna be a homer because I have him on my other team. I have him on in my auction league. I'm taking Lamar here. Lamar's actually got 2 more points than he's got 2 more points than Jalen Hurts right now in this format. I just looked. It's because of the rushing upside, though, is why. Taco says, I got a 10-team full PPR. I need 2 running backs, 2 receivers, 1 flex this week. I have Aaron Jones, Kyron Achin, James Cook, AJ Brown, Waddle, Nico, Judy, Mike Thomas, Tutu, Eckler, Ford on buy. Also, any trades. All right, so 2 running backs you are definitely starting are Kyron and Achin. And then I would start AJ Brown and Waddle. And then if you need, you're going to need a flex. So the flex is going to be between Aaron Jones and James Cook. Forget Nico, forget Judy, forget Mike Thomas, forget Tutu. Forget those guys. Aaron Jones or Cook is going to be your running backs this week. If I had to give you my honest opinion, even though I do, look, like we'll go to this real quick. This is close because I have these guys ranked right next to each other. Kind of. Aaron Jones is 19, Cook is 16. So Aaron Jones is ranked 19, Cook is. I don't want to steer you the wrong way, but I could see you starting Jones over Cook if you like. Jones is coming off a little bit more of a break because they played Thursday night and then now they play Monday night, so he's got more rest. I do think Jones is a little bit better of a matchup to a degree. And Jones is the guy, like he is the lead guy in that backfield. Cook is to a degree, but what you also have to consider though is you got to consider Damian Harris and Latavius Murray being involved in the goal line work. So if you wanted to go Aaron Jones, I would probably tell you to go Aaron Jones over Cook in that scenario. Debo just went Kyron. That guy took Kyron Williams. That's what I wanted. God. I'm gonna go. I don't like these receivers that are on the board. I know I need another receiver, but I just can't pass this up, guys. I can't pass up David Montgomery here. Give me David Montgomery. He's just been playing too good. He's playing too good, and he's gonna get the work. So, all right. So if you're talking about trades, You could definitely make a trade, obviously. Who's your quarterback and who is your tight end? Let me know who your tight end and who your quarterback is. I'll be curious. I like this guy's team right here at 7th spot. That's a pretty good start. This is okay. I don't want Taylor as my first running back, but Brees Hall right there. Okay. I probably should have taken Brees. Oh, well. Oh, well. The reason why I didn't really take Brees is because Brees and Paul are both on the same bye week, week 7. Yeah, there's trades that you can make. I just want to know who you're running, or who your tight end and who your quarterback is. I took James Cook. There goes Pacheco. I'm glad some of these receivers are staying. I can't believe Zay Flowers is going in round 4. That's just insane. Mark Cooper's still out there. So is T. Higgins. So is Christian Watson. So is Garrett Wilson. I will take Garrett Wilson proudly if he falls to me right here. Obviously. Mostert's also still out there as well. There goes Aaron Jones. Tua, Burrow, and Laporta. Okay, so you're chilling then. You get Tua basically as your number 1. Burrow's a good backup, and you got Laporta at tight end. Do not get rid of Laporta whatsoever. Speaking of Laporta, there he goes. All right, we're up next here. I want Garrett Wilson. So hopefully this guy does not take him, but he's going to take a receiver, so I might get screwed. Ooh. Yeah, we got to go Garrett Wilson here. Over Pittman, and definitely over Higgins. Tua, Burrow, and Laporta. Okay, so trades. You could upgrade at receiver. Even though you're pretty good at receiver. You got Nico, Waddle, and A.J. Brown. I don't know what you're gonna really do. It's no wonder your team is so good. You're in a 10-man. Team is loaded. Your team's loaded, bro. I almost feel like you could win with this team. Yeah, Eckler and Ford too. I would try to move forward like I did. I would try to move forward and keep Eckler, keep Kyron, keep Achin. You could try to move like Cook and you got Aaron. Dude, who are you drafting with, bro? You're drafting with some grandmas. There's no way you have all those running backs. This guy has, look at this, guys. Look at this. This guy has Aaron Jones, Kyron, Achin, James Cook, and he's got Ford and Eckler on bye, bro. This guy owns like 6 of the top 15 running backs in the league. He owns 6 of them. He owns 6 top 15 running backs in the league. You can maybe argue Ford's not top 15, but still. He owns 6 top 24 running backs, bro. Get out of here, dude. Any trades? No, you don't need to make any trades. My league select on the waiver. Yeah, you probably got Achin and Kyron off of waivers, I'm guessing. Which, if you did, obviously that's good on you. All right, guys, what are we gonna do here? What are we gonna do here? I need another receiver is the problem. I'm gonna pass up on Jerome Ford here. I'm gonna pass up on Gibbs. I know this sounds crazy to people. It's probably crazy to some people, but I'm gonna take Addison here. I think Addison's gonna bounce back, and he's gonna start to be more and more involved as the season goes on. And he's just on a team that passes the ball way too much for me to not take him here. So I'm taking Addison. I mean, dude, if you're looking to upgrade, if you're looking to trade and make upgrades, like you could upgrade your receivers is what I would try. I would try to move some of these running backs and just go get Devontae Adams. You might even go get Jefferson, depending on who the Jefferson owner has and how bad he's struggling. What's your record, Taco? What's your record? And I would try to target a good receiver that's on a team that has a bad record, that's struggling, that is not, you know what I mean, that's looking to probably miss the playoffs. That's what I would do. I'm assuming your record's really good. Because the problem with your team is if you don't move like 2 of these running backs to go get like a really good receiver, you're going to be struggling on who to start each week. Like you're going to be picking names out of a hat to start each week, and you don't want to do that because there's a good chance you're going to be picking guys that maybe underperform, and then the guy that went crazy like Achan or somebody like that, or Aaron Jones goes crazy one week and you didn't even have him in your starting lineup. That's what I would say. All right, Gibbs went after me. Marquise Brown, Godwin, Kirk, Gabe Davis, Tank Dell. I was thinking about Tank Dell over Addison, but I want Addison. We're going to Stroud. That guy took Jameson. Why is Jameson Williams going in round 6? Does anybody know? Anybody know? 3-1 right now? Okay, that's what I thought. I figured you were 3-1 or 4-0. Yeah, I would look for a receiver like a Adams, a Diggs, a Jefferson. I would look for one of those guys. A Tyreek Hill, maybe. Tyreek Hill would be great. If you got Tyreek Hill on this team, actually, you got Waddle. I would say if you got like Devontae Adams on this team, you're chilling. So, but you got to go out there a good receiver, but he's got to be on a team that's like 1-3 or 0-4. It's got to be on somebody who's struggling right now. Who's struggling in your league, and who do they have? You know what I mean? The other thing you could do, which I don't think you really need to do, you get Tua, you could go get like Josh Allen or somebody, or you know, Lamar Jackson maybe. But I think you're fine really with Tua and Burrow, though, to be honest. I don't think you really need to upgrade quarterback. You got a really good team, man. Like really, you could just win it all with that team, I feel like. You're just not gonna know who to start from week to week at running back. Kittle, that guy sniped me. I was gonna take Kittle if he was there. What the heck, dude? No way. I was this close, guys, to getting Kittle. Can you guys believe that? I wasn't going to take Ford, but he is still there. Sanders is there. Madison. I'm going to take Ford, guys. He's going to be bye week free. He's our 3rd running back. I would have liked Dameon Pierce better. I would have liked Kittle, but we missed him by a freaking pick. You kidding me, dude? Alright, we gotta go get this guy. And we gotta go get... I might have to get him with my next pick, to be honest, or he's not gonna be there. Yeah, he's probably not gonna be there. Actually, I don't know. I got 104. Who's all got tight ends? Nobody. This guy has a tight end. All these guys behind me have tight ends. Except for this guy, except for the number... I'm gonna have to take tight end right here, guys. If I want this guy. If I don't want him, I'm not... I mean, if I don't take him here, I'm not gonna get him. There's just no way. I want Pickens so bad, and if Pickens falls to me, I'm gonna feel so bad not taking him. We got Pickens, Jerry Jeudy, Thielen, Jacoby Myers, and Hopkins right now at the top of the list. And then Trevor Lawrence, Sutton, Miles Sanders, there's Waller, Goddard. We got Waller and Goddard. The problem is those guys, I don't think... So 1 doesn't have a tight end. Team 3, Team 4, Team 5. God, all these guys don't have tight ends. And they have 2 picks before I get to pick again. Yes and no. Yes and no. I would make sure I would try to make sure I had another, like I have Lamar and Stroud on the same team, for instance, you know what I mean? Like, I would want a situation like that. All right, guys, I'm doing this. Even though Pickens is still freaking there, dude. Can you believe Pickens is still there? I don't trust the quarterback play right now in Pittsburgh to take him right now. I need a freaking tight end. Taking Ferguson, guys. I'm taking him. I like Ferguson over Waller and Goddard right now, if I'm being honest. There goes Pickens. Right after us. Figures. This is a good pick for this guy. I mean, this is some value right here. Getting Pickens in round 8. I do worry about Pickett's play and if he stays healthy and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I do worry about that. I like this team so far. This isn't too bad. Isn't too bad. Ford's our third running back. I would have liked to have gotten like Rashad White or Pierce probably, but at least I got a guy who's, I mean, Rashad White's bye week 5 as well, but so is Ford. So I got a guy that's not on bye in this league. Remember, this league is week 6 through 14, and then weeks 15, 16, and 17 are the playoff weeks or whatever, the elimination weeks. Of course, technically, week 14 is the first elimination week, depending on how your team has to finish like top 2, I believe. Yeah, see, there goes Goddard. Here comes Waller. Like I was not going to see Ferguson on the way back because this guy needs a tight end. He took his. The Team 4 and Team 5 both need a tight end as well. They have one of these guys will take a tight end here on the way back. So here comes. So this guy right here is going to take Waller. Yeah, this guy right here is going to take Waller. This guy with Saquon, Bijan, and Barkley. He's got Mike Evans, Cooper, Kirk. That's not bad at receiver. Mike Evans has to get healthy, though, off of this bye week. Watch, this guy's going to take Waller right here. Oh, my God, I called it. Told you guys. This guy's going to pass on tight end now. He's not going to take one. Oh, I guess he is. He's taking Komet. Laporta, Kittle. As much as I like Laporta in the 5th round, Kittle in round 7 is good. I still think I'm getting like better value here with Ferguson. All right, we got to think about our next pick here. There goes JSN. I'm going to take Hopkins here. I'm getting such good value with Hopkins. His ADP is like 86. I think Hopkins is eventually going to start. He's eventually going to have a good game or two. That's going to help me out in some weeks. So I'm going to take Hopkins here. Like a spike week kind of guy here. He's a 4th receiver. It's not bad. Eventually, he's going to get like a touchdown and 10 catches in one of these weeks. So I think Hopkins is the best choice in terms of best ball here this round. Round 9, that's good value. His ADP is 86.9, I believe. Just double check what his ADP is. It's 86.3, so we got him. He should have been drafted right here where Miles Sanders is. We got him all the way down here at 104, so it's good value, I feel like. 18 picks of value. I was thinking about Jordan Love. That guy took Jordan Love. I was thinking about taking him as a 2nd QB. He came back around. Just fine. Dak. I'm gonna bite the bullet on this. I'm gonna take this chance here. I know he's been bad, but we're gonna take him, guys. He's been bad, I get it, but getting him in round 10 for crying out loud. He should have went 102 right here. That's where his ADP is, so we're taking him. It is what it is, man. I don't really want Drake London, and I don't want Mike Thomas. Elijah Moore I was thinking about it, but I just got Hopkins in the last round. I feel like the running backs are running thin, so Najee's our 4th running backs. Not bad. I'll take it. I'll take it. Bye week 5, bye week 6, bye week 9, bye week 7. We're gonna need Najee or Jerome Ford to produce for us in week 7. Adam's Diggs owner is 3-1. He proposed Jones, Waddle, A-Chain for Nico, A-Chain and / Nico for Diggs. He wants 3 guys for Diggs. Get out of here. No, don't do that. He's not getting Aaron Jones, Waddle, and A-Chain or Nico for Diggs. Don't do that. Send him a message, be like, do you just want my whole team? That's what you should send him. Be like, hey, do you just want my whole team? Like, Diggs is good, but come on, dude. I know he's had a couple of good weeks, but no, do not do that, Taco. I would send that guy a message, be like, hey, you just want my whole team? You want me to just, like, trade you all my players and I'll just sit on the sidelines this year and watch you guys? You know, I'll just get out of my league here. I'll just sell all my players off. Heck no, not doing that. Dude, I wouldn't give him Jones and H-N for freaking Diggs. I wouldn't give him that for Diggs. There's no way. Let alone throwing Waddle in there or Nico in there. There's no way. Now, if you wanted to do like Nico and AJ, and if you want to do Aaron Jones and Nico for Diggs, like I could get behind that. It's a little bit of a load to give to him, but you know, it's a little bit of a haul. But I could get on board with that. I think that's pretty fair, really, on both sides for the most part. I would probably want the Diggs side of it, but like if he wanted Aaron Jones and Nico for Diggs, I can get on board with that. Michael Wilson in round 11. Wow. I need another quarterback, guys. I think I'm going to take QB right here before they all go off the board, because they're flying off the board right now. I feel like there's no quarterbacks on the board, so I'm taking this quarterback before it's too late. He doesn't have a bye week either because he's on bye week this week. Give me Geno. Taking Geno here. I feel like we're doing pretty good in this draft for pick number, what, 8? Pick number 8. This is pretty good. I like this. I like this draft much better than the one that I did from pick number 5 the other day. So, feeling pretty confident about this one. It could have been better. I feel like I could have maybe went Breece Hall right here, but I would have Pollard and Breece on by week 7. I'd be hurting week 7. I feel like I could have got Kittle right here, and if I would have got Kittle right here, that means this pick could have been Pickens, or it could have been Adam Thielen. Kyle Pitts just went. Elijah Moore. I thought about Elijah Moore. I was hoping Elijah Moore would get back to me. I knew if I took Elijah Moore, though, Geno probably wasn't coming back to me, even though all the guys in front of me. Well, this guy only has 1 QB. This guy would have taken Geno from me. 100%. Oh, I need another tight end. Hunter Henry's still out there, so is Kincaid. Goes Jaleel McLaughlin. I was thinking about him. That's out the window though now. Hi, need any help? Nope, we don't. Eric McKinnon just went. I feel like that's a bad pick. I guess Cooks. I'm gonna double down on this. I hate freaking leaving this guy out there, dude. Oh my god, I'm gonna leave him out there. I'm gonna take a chance here. I don't think he's gonna make it back to me, but we're gonna go Dalton Kincaid right here. Give me another tight end. I'm gonna double down on him. We got Ferguson though too, so Ferguson by week 7, Kincaid by week 13 or whatever. A good combo, I feel like, to have. I think Kincaid's got better games coming ahead eventually. It may be after like week 10 or week 11. It may take that long, but eventually he's gonna get us one. I give Stroud and I get Burrow. Do I accept? I'm currently 4-0 and a good chance to be 5-0, and I don't like Stroud's playoff schedule. Who's the other quarterback that you have, Alex? You just have Stroud? Who's your other quarterback that you have? Surely you got another one, right? What weeks are your playoffs? Week 15 and 16 or 16 and 17? Russell Wilson's your quarterback. Which weeks are your playoffs? I'm guessing it's 16 and 17, right? Buffalo's got, or Cincinnati's got Pittsburgh week 16. Cincinnati's got Kansas City week 17. That's 16. Oh no, that is 17. You also got Higgins to pair. Higgins may not be a Cincinnati Bengal by week 16 or 17. They might trade that guy, because they're not going to pay him the money that he wants. They might trade him. Don't be shocked if Higgins gets traded this year. Somebody's getting traded on that offense. I don't know if it's Higgins or Tyler Boyd or both. I think one of those guys are going to be in a different jersey here by the end of the month. So, because they're not paying all of those guys, so they're going to have to get rid of one of them. They're just going to have to. I mean, it's just the way it is. I'm telling you guys right now, don't be shocked if Higgins and or Tyler Boyd get traded. This guy took Josh Reynolds. That's who I was hoping to get back to me. God. Week 17. Houston's at home against Tennessee. Week 6. I don't know. Tennessee's got a horrible secondary. So, like, they're gettable in the pass game. That's all I'm going to say. They got Cleveland. Cleveland's a tough matchup, but they are at home that game. It's another Deshaun Watson homecoming game. Oh my god, dude. I don't want to steer you the wrong way here. I understand what you're trying to do. I would target a different quarterback, really. I think Mixon will be traded, to be honest, and I'm from Cincinnati, and that's what I've heard a lot. Yeah, somebody's going. I don't know. It's Mixon, Higgins. It's somebody. Somebody's going. Go with your gut instinct, because I don't think Tennessee's a bad matchup for Stroud, week 17. I do think Cleveland could be a little bit of a tough matchup. Cleveland does have a good secondary. They have one of the better secondaries in the league. Tennessee does not, though. Tennessee has one of the worst secondaries in the league. So, like, teams can't run against Tennessee, but they can pass against them. You know what I mean? So, well, they left me the cream of the crop here to choose from, didn't they? I'm gonna take this guy. I kind of like the way this guy's been playing so far. He seems like the best available right now. I'm gonna take Josh Downs. Get us a 5th receiver behind Hopkins, Addison, Wilson, and Ridley. I'm trying to think. I haven't really looked at playoff weeks as far as quarterbacks go. I would want... Chicago's got Arizona 1 week. And Chicago plays Atlanta that week. Yeah, I agree with you, man. I agree with you. I agree with you 100% on that. That take. I feel like they would get it turned around. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if the Bengals make the playoffs this year, bro. With the way they're playing, they're gonna have to turn it around, and they're gonna have to turn it around quick. Let me see here. I don't know if they win that division, man. I think the Ravens have that division right now. I mean, they got the 49ers coming up on the road. They got the Bills at home. They need to win this game in Arizona and against Seattle the following week. They have to win these 2 games. If they win these 2 games coming up against Arizona, Seattle, we'll see, man. We'll see. They're gonna have to split the Niners and the Bills back to back. They're gonna have to split one of, like, they're gonna have to win one of. They lose both of those games, I don't think they're making the playoffs. So they're 1-3. Let's say they get to 3-2, but then let's say they lose against the Niners. Let's say they're 3. Let's say they're 3-4 through the first 7 weeks. They're not making the play. There goes Gibson. That guy took Zach Ertz, and he took Njoku. What a son of a gun. Let's see here. I'm gonna take. I know I got. What's his face? I know I have Hopkins, but I'm gonna take Burks too, just in case. Burks is a guy that has like one of the like highest A dots in the league right now. His average depth of target is like 18 yards. He's been catching all the deep balls. So if he catches a couple of deep balls one game, so he gets like a 70-yard touchdown for me, this would be a good guy to have. Spike week. This is what I'm gonna say to you guys about best ball. You want to, especially in these later rounds, you want to go for guys that have like spike weeks. Like they're guys that are kind of like they're irrelevant most weeks, but like one particular week they could go get you like 30. That's kind of what you're looking for with some of these guys in these later rounds. I think Burks is one of those guys. He's a guy who's not going to really do much for you, but 1 week he could get you like 30. Lions, Bills or Lions defense? Question mark. This week. Well, let's go to the rankings. I'm gonna let you decide based off the rankings this week. These are the rankings, bro. Lions are 4, Bills are 7. So give me the Lions, dude. If Bryce Young is the quarterback this week, which he should be, give me the Lions. The Bills, though, are not a bad option because the Bills have been pretty solid. The Bills have been, I mean, depending on your scoring, they've probably been like #1 defense this week or this year. So it's close, but give me the Lions. Look, if you want to go Bills, though, you want to ride the hot hand, and you think Trevor Lawrence is going to struggle again, then go Bills. But the Lions have been playing they've been much improved on defense, and they're playing a quarterback who I don't think he's going to get it together this week. He's going to need more weeks underneath his belt to translate his play to the NFL. I think he's still going to struggle. So give me the Lions this week, man. I think Hutchinson and that defensive line gets to him a ton this week. They're still missing guys on that offensive line too. So all right, we need to start looking ahead. Who are we gonna take? I like this guy. I like this guy. This is what we're doing next here. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we can get these two. I would like to get both of these players here coming up. We'll see if we get snagged.
See if we get sniped here by somebody. I'm going for Latavius Murray and a tight end. I'm not going to say which tight end though, because I don't want somebody to take him. I don't know if there's anybody in here watching that's in this with me. Hopefully you guys aren't. You guys better not be in this with me, stream sniping me. Rita, okay. Taking Latavius Murray if he's there. This guy better not to. Wales, you better not take him. That's what I thought. Alright, we're taking Latavius Murray. I like that pick right there. That's a beautiful running back 5 to have on our team. We got Pollard, Montgomery, Jerome Ford, Najee. Najee, you know, he's not been terrible. We got him as running back 4, so it is what it is. You know what I mean? Latavius Murray, I like this. I like the way this team is panning out here. We got Lamar Jackson. We got Geno at quarterback. And we have Ferguson, Kincaid at tight end. We're about to grab another one on the way back if he's there. That was not him, by the way. That was not the guy we're trying to get. There's Robert Woods. We got 3 more picks. Kyler. Chase Claypool, he doesn't play for Chicago anymore. Alright, we got our guy. Looks like we got our guy. We're going to go with K. Dotton right here. Tight end. Get us a 3rd tight end. So we got K. Dotton, Kincaid, Jake Ferguson at tight end. This is a good tight end room. I like this. I like this team. This is one of the better teams. I feel like I've only drafted 2 teams, but this is a good team. I feel like from the 8 spot. E. Ryan, Dalvin Cook, Odell, Keaton Mitchell, Dawson Knox. I got a bunch of bets tomorrow on college football, guys, so wish me well. I need to look at the lines and make sure. I want to see which way the lines have. I've had a couple of lines move the wrong way on me, according to you know. I mean, if you want to look at it like that, I need to check the lines though on some of these games. That is the wrong site. There's Donald Parham, Deuce Vaughn, Braxton Berrios, Justin Watson. Need to log in here and check. I guess I'm already logged in. What do you know? No, it logged me out. Hold on, I'm gonna fix the camera here in a second. Alright, let me move this camera back. Alright, we're back on the clock here. See, like, they got Taysom Hill as a quarterback on here. You guys see that? Taysom Hill is on here as a quarterback. I feel like we don't have to have another quarterback, but we might as well take this guy. He's there. We might as well take him, right? I'm gonna take him. We're gonna take Jimmy G. We get Jimmy G. What the heck? Let's look at some of these bets. So like tomorrow, guys, like my big bets that I have. I got Michigan. I got a 2-leg parlay. I got Michigan minus 19.5. UTSA minus 13.5. So I got that as a 2-teamer. And then I got like Michigan minus 19.5 in a straight play. UTSA in a straight play. I got the over 57.5 in the Baylor game, the Baylor Texas Tech. I got over 50. I think that's up to like 60 now, but I got it at 57.5 back on Tuesday. So I got that in a straight play. I have the under in the Tulsa Florida Atlantic game, but I think that totals went up, so I'm kind of on the wrong side of that. But I have the under in that game. I think it's 53.5. I think it's up to like 55 though. I have Notre Dame minus 6.5 on the road. I have that as a straight play. And then I have UCLA minus 3.5 on a straight play. And then I got a couple of like big parlays that I only spent like I got an 8-team parlay that I got like $2 on. I don't put much on the parlays. So let me see the spreads. Let me see if the spreads or anything's have like really changed here. I haven't looked in a while. I do have the under in the Wisconsin game. I have like under 47, I believe. It's down to 44 already. So I feel like I'm on the right side of that one, obviously. Yeah, this came down 3 full points. That's pretty insane. The UTSA is up to 14 points now instead of 13.5, so I feel good about that. Buffalo is still at +3. I have Buffalo +3, but I have them in a parlay, so I don't know. Like, I could still lose. UCLA is still 3.5. I'm trying to look for this over. Yeah, so Tulsa and Florida Atlantic it's actually at 54. The over-under's at 54. It was up to like 54.5 or 55, so it's came back down, so that's good because I have it at 53.5.
So I have under in that game. So it's at 54 now. It's only up half a point from where I got it. That's good because I feel like it was higher the other day. All right, we're back on the clock. We're taking this guy again. This is just, I feel like, the best pick here. It's the best pick late. But give me I can Trey Palmer just in case like Mike Evans misses a bunch of time here. All right, guys, that is the draft. Here we go. This is it. Let's go to the full screen so you guys can actually see everything. So, Lamar and Gino, Garoppolo, Tony Pollard, Monty, Jerome Ford, Harris, Murray. Not the greatest room of running backs, but I feel like this is pretty good. These two guys here. Jerome Ford has no bye week. He's on bye this week, so he won't have a bye week for this contest. Ridley, Wilson, Addison, Burks, and Hopkins together, and we got Downs, and we just picked up Palmer. Palmer's gonna have no bye week. Palmer could be steal here if Mike Evans like misses some significant time, you know. Then we got Ferguson, Kincaid, Cade Otton. I like this tight end group too. So this is a pretty good team from the 8 spot, I feel like. So that is going to conclude our draft. I think I'm done, guys. We're almost 3.5 hours through. Tomorrow, so I'm gonna do this as soon as I get off. I've been slacking, guys. Sorry, I've been working a little bit. I've been slacking. I'm gonna update my advanced stats for the running backs and the receivers, and then we'll do a live stream later today, and I will go over buy low, sell high guys, trades, any other questions you guys have about starting guys this week. But we'll dive into the analytics of how these guys have been performing through the first 4 weeks. So we'll go over that later today, but I need to update my stats, okay? And that's going to take me a couple of hours to do. So I appreciate all you guys tuning in. You guys don't know how much you guys mean to me, man. I appreciate you guys supporting the channel. And please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'm gonna try to, be live more and more. This week we kind of, we weren't live as much, but that's because of work, man. Work gets in the way sometimes, and so but I appreciate every single one of you guys. I'm gonna try to get that video out for the Survivor as well. I gotta do the recording to get this out right here. This is the Survivor week 5. So I'm gonna get the video out, but you guys don't want to wait on the video. This is our Survivor ranks for week 5. Like I said, last week, week 4, we went 9-1. The only game we missed was the Packers, on Thursday night. So pretty good week for us. Week 5, we're looking to do much of the same here. Get 8 or 9 wins. It's gonna be tough to hit all 10, man. I'm not gonna lie. It's really tough. So, but I appreciate all you guys tuning in, man. I'm out of here. You can see these right now, or if you guys want to hear what I said about the Survivor picks, go back to the beginning of the live stream. I basically break down like all of these teams and what I think. And so if you want some analysis on that, go back to the beginning of the live stream. And we also just did our best ball league here. Our second one for our resurrection league here. Like I said, Lamar, Gino, Garoppolo, Pollard, Montgomery, Ford, Harris, Latavius Murray as our running backs. Ridley, Wilson, Addison, Hopkins, and Burks. And then we got Downs, Palmer to finish off our receivers. Ferguson, Kincaid, and Otton as our tight ends. So pretty good team, I feel like, from the 8 spot. And then also we went over our rankings for quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends. Also defenses right here as well. So I'm gonna go back through I'm gonna end this stream. I'm gonna get off for the night. I'll probably be back on later today. Like I said, we're gonna go over some analytics for our running backs and receivers. I'm gonna tell you guys which guys we might want to be targeting in our buy low, sell high as well. And so I'll hit on that whenever we go live again. after this stream though, I'll go back into this stream and I'll leave like timestamps or whatever for you guys to see the rankings for the running backs, the receivers. You know, I'm gonna put the timestamps in there so you guys can find them if you want to go back and watch the video. So I appreciate every one of you guys. Like I said, hit that like button, subscribe if you are new. We will catch you guys later today. I'm out of here. Peace out. We'll catch you guys later today. Tingley, I appreciate you, man. Yes, thanks for tuning in, man. I appreciate all you guys' support. If you guys have any questions, you guys can always leave a comment down below in the comment section if you guys have any questions, and I will get back to you guys. But like I said, I'm gonna have a stream later today, and we'll go over like trade questions and starting guys, sitting guys, and stuff like that. So we'll catch you guys later today.